from high atop the Lion's Den on the campus of Emporia State University, we welcome you in to live coverage of Emporia FC. It is the home opener for the Black Lions here in Emporia. They'll be playing host to Central Kansas United, I should say. It's an exciting time here on the campus of Emporia State University. Once again, with you here live from the Lions Den, I am Tegan Terhune, the voice of Emporia FC. And what an exciting matchup we have here for you tonight as the Black Lions look to defend their home turf against a, well, new opponent in name, but not so much an opponent in face. They have actually faced this team before, but the last time they faced them, they were known as Foot 4. They are now Central Kansas United. So this is going to be very interesting. It's a new team and a new identity that they're bringing to the pitch. Emporia FC, of course, well established here, looking to go ahead and rebound from their heartbreaking loss last week in their game or their season opener. It was a 4-3 defeat to Dodge City. We'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute, but really, it's time to get excited, Lions fans. It is time for the homestand here for Emporia FC. If you're not in the stands, we certainly hope you're watching home on YouTube. We're going to take a quick moment. We will step aside for just a quick break. When I come back, we'll welcome in my partner for our broadcast, Jane Grimley-Gunn, and we will get some analysis from the coach, get ready for our matchup here tonight, and of course, get you your starting lineups. All of that coming up here live on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. Welcome back high atop the Lions Den here on the campus of Emporia State University. Tegan Terhune, the voice of Emporia FC, joined by the coach, my color commentator, Jane Grimley-Gunn. Glad to have you back here in the booth.
Glad to be back.
Well, we're happy to have your insight. Last time it was just me calling the whole match, and I'll tell you right now, I probably put people to sleep. So we're happy to have your brain back in the booth.
It's a good combo to have, I think.
I think so, too. I think we make a good team, and we're certainly going to show that off here. But speaking of good teams, we have a pretty solid one here in Emporia FC. I was talking about their outing just a week ago against Dodge City. They actually come away with a 4-3 loss. But an interesting note, Coach, they were down 3-0 heading into the second half. They come back and win the second half 3-1. I mean, that's still got to be a great positive takeaway for this team.
Yeah, I think if you can turn that on all game, you probably get a good result. So it shows it's there. It's just making sure that it's consistent throughout the match.
Well, I was talking with head coach Victor Ibarra just a little bit ago, and the thing he said to me was, I think we just had some nerves to shake out. You know, we were talking about this in the preseason when they had their first home game here in the preseason, and you'd mentioned those nerves are going to be circulating, especially when you have new faces, a new team. You're trying to build chemistry. You're trying to really get to know each other a little bit. Some of these guys have played together quite a bit. Some of them have never met each other. So, I mean, you got to think when you're trying to find that chemistry, that first half and maybe even a little bit more of that first game is probably going to be a big feeling out process.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're in a new situation on the road, all of those things, there's so many factors that go into it. It's as much of a physical game as it is a mental game too. So making sure that part is right, hopefully that comes through to that.
Well, knowing that they can rise and really rise to the occasion, come back and fight back like that, that's got to give Coach Barra a lot of confidence in his team, knowing that they already showed what they're capable of in that second half against Dodge City. Now they just have to come out here and essentially keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, I think facing adversities is crazy. Like, to be able to come back from that, that's a huge step in the right direction. So they're going to be solid.
Well, now I did mention just a little bit ago before you joined us up here. Of course, CKU, they're not a brand new team exactly, just new in name. They've had a little bit of an identity change. When you change your name and just simply the name of the team, does that usually bring about an entire identity change?
I'd have to imagine there's elements that are changing beyond the name with that. So I think there would be some of it. Now I'd expect some level of similarity, but maybe they're trying to evolve beyond what was previous.
Well, we talk about when new coaches or new names, new logos, whatever it might be, when something new comes into a team dynamic, it can really change that dynamic in some ways. Do you think that that's, if it is the case here with CKU, do you think that that's good for Emporia FC, or could that be detrimental because maybe you have something to prove under your new patch?
I think it could go either way. It depends how comfortable they are in that new uniform or that new name, whatever that may be. So I think it's a good opportunity for two teams still figuring things out to really hit the ground running.
Well, it's early in the season, so this is the time. If you're going to make mistakes, you're going to try and feel some things out. This is the best time to do it.
100%.
Well, one more quick thing on this. The last time these two teams met, it was a draw between the two, but before that, it was a 1-0 win for Foot 4 at the time, now CKU. I mean, does that play in your head a little bit? I know I kind of ask you this question every time, but
Sure.
knowing you have not climbed that mountain yet,
Yep.
and you haven't beaten them yet, from a coaching standpoint, a team standpoint, even a fan standpoint,
Yeah.
that's got to play with your head a little bit.
100%. I think if you have a reaction to it where you're like, you know what, this is the time, it could be a great bit of motivation, but it could also be a big hurdle if things don't go your way right away.
We kept making the Ted Lasso analogies during our first broadcast together, and I want to throw another one at you. We talked about all the different things, believe whatever you may have, but in that show that we both clearly
Yes,
love
I
so
love
much,
it.
in that show, the big white whale they couldn't overcome was Man City.
Sure.
They finally did that, and it really propelled them further onto their season. Now, granted, it's a Hollywood show. That's the
Yeah.
narrative. It's what it's supposed to do. But that is actually art imitating life, because when you can get over that hump and beat a team you haven't beaten before, that can really propel your team forward in the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I think Ted Lasso has a lot of those little milestones just hit it in there. There's some element of reality with that entire show too, and I think the same applies here.
Well, don't worry. We're going to be making plenty of those analogies here throughout the broadcast, I can assure you. But nonetheless, we do want to go ahead and step aside for just a moment. When we come back, we'll get you your starting lineups for both sides of the pitch, and we'll be just about set for kickoff. You are tuning in to live coverage of Emporia FC Soccer right here on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. And we welcome you back high atop the Lion's Den here on the campus of Emporia State University. Tegan Terhune, the voice of Emporia FC, joined by the coach, Jane Grimley Gunn, as we are getting set for kickoff here from Jones Field inside of Welch Stadium. It is your Emporia Black Lions, Emporia FC, playing host to Central Kansas University. I just love Kansas so much. I think I just keep wanting to say it first. I think that's all it is. I'm just a proud Kansan. But nonetheless, Central Kansas United taking on the Black Lions here from Jones Field. We're going to go ahead and get into our starting lineups for both sides, starting with the visitors from Central Kansas United. In goal for CKU will be Andrew Cole. At midfield, Gerardo Garcia. Also at midfield, Noel Zimbeva. Andrew Quiros. Also on defense will be Juan Maldonado, wearing the number 4. Disclosed to me, I might be trying to play a little shenanigans with us up here. No, we're just kidding, of course, Coach. But that is the starting lineup for CKU. Looking at the starting lineup for Emporia FC, they will be starting with in goal Luan Nascimento, which is a player to watch. Nascimento has been brilliant in goal at times. Don't let the 4-3 loss last week say otherwise. He's been fantastic. Also starting out will be Joao Aguiar, Darwin Velez, Joao Olmedo, Hector Hernandez, Richard Freitas, Caio Lobo, Mario Sandoval, my apologies, Alex Almeida, Luis Borin, and Tomas Arriagada. That is your starting lineup for Emporia FC. As you could see it there on the screen, big ups to Javen Arndt running the graphics here today. Doing a great job here for us. Also want to give a huge shout out to Taryn Huggard, who was singing the national anthem just a little bit ago and belting it out there.
She was.
Yes, fantastic job there by Taryn. Well, Coach, we look at these two teams, we match up here, and we've got on one side a bit more of I'd say shorter stature kind of team in CKU. But when you see a shorter player there out on the pitch, what does that tell you about what they bring to the pitch?
I think that they have to kind of make up for it in other ways, right? You see Messi, who's known to be one of the best ever, and he's not very large.
No.
So don't underestimate them.
They definitely have plenty of skill and even for CKU.
I think starting strong in lieu of the last game, right? Not going into them a bit of hope, especially coming off a tie in their last performance against them, that they don't want to concede right away and then have to dig themselves out again, because it's just a really difficult spot mentally and physically to get out of that hole.
Absolutely. Well, we will see who can get off to the hot start here in just a moment. Both teams breaking their last little huddles here, heading off to their respective benches. As again, this is the home opener for the regular season here for Emporia FC. We appreciate all of you who are tuning in to watch our live coverage of Emporia FC here on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. Again, big shout out to Javen Arndt, our engineer, getting us on the air and keeping us on there as well. So if you see Javen around, make sure you give him a big pat on the back, as he has earned it. Coach, one thing I didn't bring up is, of course, the style that we know Emporia FC really likes to employ, and that's that tiki-taka style. You weren't able to be here for the final home preseason matchup, but it seemed as though they were really struggling to get through the midfield as in that last home matchup. When you start to struggle just getting the ball cleanly through the midfield area, how does that really affect that style of play?
Yeah, I think that's huge. Because they want to keep so much of the ball, they have to be able to still progress play and maintain a effective level of possession while going forward. So if they're starting to see those challenges, they may need to be a bit creative in how to overcome them.
Well, I do want to point out that CKU came away with a 2-2 tie in their last matchup. It was with Ryogoku Academy. They did have 2 goals, as I mentioned, by Gerardo Garcia and Camille Coom out there today. Of course, I was talking to as is Gerardo Garcia. Sorry, I didn't connect the two right there. I thought I had him crossed off right there. I'm killing it today here on the live stream.
It's early.
I've been up since 6 a.m. That's going to be my excuse. We are underway here. CKU with possession to start things off in their own zone, trying to clear it out right away. Ball worked over to Juan Maldonado. Deep back in his own zone, clears it out. Now worked at midfield. FC trying to get possession here. Ball goes right up sky high. Good challenge there for Emporia FC from Darwin Velez, the Nicaraguan. As FC really pushing the pace here very early on. Very aggressive style we don't typically see out of the Black Lions. A nice attempt there, but ball just a little bit too high.
Yeah,
Too hot to handle right there.
they looked comfortable just in that moment. Maybe it's just being at home gives them a bit of confidence.
Tomas Arriagada setting it up there for Emporia FC. As going off the foot of Hector Hernandez, the Emporian, will have a throw in here for CKU. Of course, you are watching all the action here on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. Tegan Terhune, joined by Jane Grimley Gunn, the head coach of Emporia State Soccer, high atop the Lions Den here. We appreciate you tuning in here tonight. FC now back on the attack, getting it through the midfield. Trying to clear through the defenders there was Luis Barine, and Barine couldn't get it to go. Gets right back on the ball, and then he gets tripped up, and I think we're getting a free kick here. It was just outside the box, so no penalty possibility here, but a great shot position here as Coach, we did see a little while back, it was the first game that we did together.
Yeah.
We saw them score from about this distance,
Mm-hmm.
about 22 yards out, and I believe it was Barine who did it.
Yeah, I think this is a really dangerous opportunity for them if they can capitalize.
Well, it looks like Emporia isn't dropping very far back, as the official seems to be having some instructions here, just getting everybody set. So,
And it's interesting, you have two people on the ball here too, so you wonder are they going to do something slick?
Barine,
No, we're just going to take a shot,
I
guaranteed.
believe that was Hector Hernandez joining Barine, and Barine will take it by himself now. Lines it up, gets the whistle. Nice arc on it, and a beautiful save by Andrew Cole. You got to give him credit right there. He read it perfectly. Cole was a little bit out of position, just got long. Good attempt at the stop there by Emporia FC at midfield. Ball now worked over to Jose Escobedo. Escobedo will turn it over. Now handling it is Alex Almeida. Almeida works it left side to Mario Sandoval. Sandoval shoots it to the left side of the box, and the ball will, well, it was saved by Cole, but I think we got an offsides whistle.
Emporia FC do have a lot of numbers forward, though. They're doing a really good job keeping the ball on this half.
For a team that really loves to employ that tiki-taka style that we talk about, Coach, I mean, this seems like a very aggressive mentality
It
for them.
is, because there is a large gap between the back line and their front line, but it seems like they're managing to keep it with just those players.
Ball goes out of play. Last touch by Emporia FC. A throw-in will come here now from Jose Escobedo of CKU. Not liking the ball, I guess.
That's the second ball that they've switched out.
Hey,
Someone didn't pump the
they
ball.
know what they want. They know what they want. You got to respect it. Escobedo throws it right towards the Emporia FC box. Nice header to clear it out there by the Black Lions. And immediately they start to pounce on CKU once again, really pushing. The issue there was Richard Freitas for Emporia FC, number 7 out there. As CKU kind of getting trapped at midfield. I believe Central Kansas, they want a handball violation, and I think the official's going to award it to them.
One thing that the opponent will have to adjust to is this field is a bit smaller than regulation. So that's something that can take a little bit of time for them to get comfortable and start to get their bearings.
Well, you may not be able to tell just by watching on the stream, but it's also drizzling out there a little bit. And when turf gets wet, it gets slick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely some factors playing into this.
Noel Zimbeva will have the free kick here for CKU. Zimbeva, the approach. Nice line drive and a header, not needing to be saved, but I think it would have been by Nascimento as Freitas was down for just a minute. He's gesturing to his head. I think he might have had a bit of a collision with an attacker. He looks to be okay. Yeah, he's really gesturing to that head, and you got to be careful in those situations, especially when that ball's flying around.
I thought Nascimento might have hit the head on the post just there as well, and he bounced back.
Yeah, he's a tough one. Nascimento sends it about 80 yards the other way. Great kick there by Nascimento to set his team up for an opportunity. Freitas, well, if his head was hurting earlier, it's not now, as he just bowled through right there, but it led to a collision with the CKU player who's down in a lot of pain right now, trying to see the number clearly on who that was. As still hunched over in a little pain. I believe that's Andrew Quiros. And he looks to be all right. Yep, that is Andrew Quiros for CKU. A little shaken up on the play, gets back up. And another free kick coming here to CKU, handled by Gerardo Garcia. Garcia
Ooh.
sends it down the other way. Oh, I think.
Yeah, no doubt.
Don't want to. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Nah, he's trying to argue it, but listen, we're Black Lions through and through. But yeah, I think Joao Almeida
May have handball.
might have gotten a hand on it. I don't think it was intentional by any stretch of
No.
the imagination, but yeah, it definitely caught the paw there a little bit.
Yeah, it was just unfortunate. He didn't mean to. It just changed the flight of the ball a little bit there, and now you have to
Well,
give that.
I talked about the rain. I talked about obviously the shorter field. The wind out there is pretty strong
It
today as
is.
well, and that makes a huge difference, especially when that ball's coming flying in there.
Especially for these sorts of opportunities here, just a bit of wind on this can really get some curve on it.
6 minutes, 45 seconds gone in the first frame here. Still 0-0 at Jones Field on the campus of Emporia State University here in the Lions Den. A dangerous opportunity now for CKU to possibly take the lead. Free kick awarded after the handball violation.
Well done.
Shot fired in, and it just drifts wide right. But once again, Nascimento did a great job of getting over there just in time. Noel Zimbabwe of CKU doing the honors. And that's the second time I think Zimbabwe's shot has just been a little bit off.
Yeah.
And I got to think the wind is probably playing a factor in that.
For sure. And I think the goalkeeper set a really good wall there, too, which really didn't give him a good line of vision. I think he had it covered, even if it was on frame.
I will be perfectly honest. I never appreciated that wall until it worked for me in FIFA and FC.
Oh, it's such a relief to have
It's
a
so
wall.
amazing. It always used to make me mad. I'm like, what are these guys doing? And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, that's what they're doing.
Especially when the guy's laying on the ground who got one of those, and sometimes it's just, it can be crazy.
Emporia FC now with it at midfield. It was worked from right to left by Hector Hernandez. Trying to, whoa, a big collision on the boundary. We got a Black Lion down on the field, but another got just hammered by CKU. And CKU really,
It's a chippy game.
yeah,
Already.
they are putting up some pressure. Now we're starting to see some more signs of that tiki-taka style here from FC that we've kind of grown accustomed to, working it back to Nascimento and then back towards midfield. This time it's cut off by CKU. FC trying to keep it in the CKU zone. They clear it out. Back towards midfield. 3 men on it.
Wow.
Nobody really wins it. Now we finally got it. Does Emporia FC. Back down the stretch. We've got an opportunity right here. He's on sides. Gets it around. Fires it up the middle and turns it right over there. Good defense to get back there by CKU. Got to respect it. Errant pass wasn't seen by Seth Flores. It's taken away by Emporia FC. Nice lob pass down the stretch. Trying to catch up to it was Tomas Arriagada for Emporia FC, but Andrew Cole, the goalkeeper for CKU, just a bit faster. That was good awareness by Cole, too, to get out there and make the save, Coach.
Yeah, and I think really, it's a really good battle right now. They're pretty evenly matched, but Emporia FC is doing a really good job stepping to win the ball and creating opportunities like this.
Luis Barine for FC was showing off the fancy footwork, but it still got poked away out of bounds. But a goal or a they are
Kick,
saying that's
yeah.
Emporia FC's ball. Yep, so we will have a corner here. Just making sure I read that correctly. Barine will do the honors here. And again, that win could be a detriment or it could be a massive boost here. See what Barine tries to do. We know he can curve that ball just about anywhere he wants it. Nice lob into the box, but it is knocked out of play by CKU. We'll get a throw in here for Emporia FC.
Not a bad attempt there, though. They're creating a lot of chances, so that's a start.
I mean, he kicked it almost perfectly. It was a great arch, and if somebody could have gotten a head on it, I think that's going in. But again, give CKU credit. They really stacked that box very well. And we almost had a collision between teammates as Andrew Cole comes up with the ball off the throw in by Richard Freitas.
It's a dangerous throw in from there too. It's
Yeah,
almost like a corner kick when you could throw that far.
that was impressive. I don't think I've ever seen anybody score with a throw in, but I think we were very close to it right there.
Yep.
Just over 10 and a half minutes gone here in the first frame. Still 0-0 as Emporia FC again trying to get back to the midfield. And here we go back to the passing game here, trying to create some opportunities. The balls work back to Joao Almeida. Little fancy footwork there in the backfield. Worked up front. I think Thomas Arriagada was the intended target. It just went a little bit over his head. CKU able to clear it out, but it's a throw in for Emporia FC. Hector Hernandez, the Emporian, will work it back to Amado.
And you can see right now, CKU, they're not pressing. They're sitting in this sort of block, which is making it really compact, and it's hard for Emporia FC to penetrate. So if they can just keep it and draw them out a little bit, they'll start to find more space.
Good effort here by Emporia FC, staying with it, as you said. Thomas Arriagada has it, sends it across the way, right to an open but nothing happening there. It goes back to Arriagada. Arriagada gives it to Kyle Lobo, and Lobo will send it off the foot of a CKU defense, Flores. Or my correction, actually that was Andrew Quiros. Those numbers are so small. Do want to point out Luis Barin, who's had some great opportunities here so far. He actually had one of the goals in the comeback attempt last week. Hector Hernandez will take the corner here. Fires it way over the box, and nothing doing there. We get a goal kick here for CKU, Andrew Cole. And Cole, he might be wearing the wrong uniform, in my opinion, but he is definitely playing a stellar game. He's kind of robbed Emporia FC, coach, of a few great opportunities.
Yeah, he's been brave in the moments he's needed to be, and if he can keep that up, it's just going to be harder and harder for them to score.
FC back with possession now, trying to break through the defense. It's worked over right side to Hernandez. He can't handle it. Keeps it from going out of bounds. He goes back to Freitas. Now Freitas works it to Mario Sandoval. Sandoval trying to find an open man. Goes back to Freitas on the right side.
And you can see now CKU have every player behind the ball.
Yep.
All 11. So they're doing a really good job.
FC gets it through the wall right there, but Hernandez now looking for something to do. He tries to cross it, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by CKU, so we get another corner kick opportunity. Or are they going to just say it's a throw-in?
Throw-in.
It is throw-in. You are correct. I stand incorrect. Hernandez goes to Freitas. Ball goes out of play again. Another throw-in here. This time Freitas will handle it.
He's got a big throw, so this is going to be a good opportunity.
I'm curious if he tries to go back towards the net again, and he does.
It's a great opportunity.
And a great awareness by Cole. I mean, give credit where it's due. Andrew Cole coming right out of net. He knew what Freitas was trying to set up there. I got to say, again, I wish he was wearing a different jersey, but man, this kid's got a great soccer IQ, coach.
For sure. If he's just being really proactive and recognizing risk, and that's all he has to do.
Seth Flores got a touch on it before it goes back to Emporia FC. Joep Aguiar had it for the Black Lions. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by Aguiar. Now Aguiar trying to fight for it back. He goes to Darwin Velez. Velez works it right side of the field. Got it past the defender. Sent down the other way by Tomas Arriagada. And once again, Andrew Cole comes out of net to help stop the momentum. Good defense by CKU. But again, this Cole kid, he scares me a little bit.
Yeah, he's doing a solid job, especially in the small field. Balls are going to come to him if he's comfortable being outside of his box, and you can see now he's outside the 18.
I got to ask, is this not just maybe he's showing his comfortability, but he's maybe trying to get into the opposition's head a little bit, that I'm not fazed by you?
100%. Yeah, I think right now if I was playing against him, I'd be like, how do I figure this out?
It's a mental game at this point. Emporia FC back on the attack. Oh, and that's going to definitely be a free kick right there, as I think Joao Almeida just got a little too fired up there and basically dragged the attacker down. Oh, are we going to get a booking here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the official has the card in hand. Yep, it's going to be a yellow card for the Brazilian Joao Almeida. So he has to be very careful now.
He does. Especially for something like that. Just kicking the ball away, it sucks to get a card for something like that.
Yeah. Well, Coach Ibarra not looking too happy with that one. As the free kick will be awarded again, Noel Zimbabwe. This will be his third free kick of the match. He's come close a few times to hitting pay dirt. 16 minutes, 12 seconds gone in the opening round of this matchup. Still 0-0. Zimbabwe going to try and make that tie disappear. Now we get a little bit of a tie-up here, fighting for the ball at midfield. Good footwork shown by Mario Sandoval. Sandoval was trying to feed it down the stretch to Luis Barin, who, again, is just magic when he has the opportunity. But Barin, unfortunately, just couldn't track it down in time before it was offsides. A tangle up between players. I believe the feet got tangled up with Andres Ruiz of CKU and our own Darwin Valles, and Valles is down. Good sportsmanship to come out there and pick him up.
It's been a lot of these moments though where like the play has been dead for a good portion of the game. It's hard to get into a rhythm when there's so much stoppage.
And not to mention, you got to think about the fatigue factor because with all that stoppage, you're bound to have even more time added on.
For sure.
Ball is worked back to Nascimento in goal. He goes over to Joao Almeida. Almeida sends it up the way now, trying to track it down again is Borin. And whoa, I believe that was Seth Flores. Flores doing his best Karate Kid impression, came flying in trying to kick it away, and he just came up empty, slammed into the ground. I think they're going to give CKU a free kick. I guess there was a little bit more body in there in a black jersey. Sorry, kit. My apologies.
Love that.
I
Thank you.
forget my decorum. I'm just a lowly American. I apologize. An opportunity now for CKU. Take it away by Luan Nascimento. Nascimento, great awareness there. He knew it was a 2-on-none situation. Comes out, takes the ball away. Great job. Nascimento keeping it a 0-0 tie. CKU sending it back down the other way. Nascimento will handle it. See what he decides to do here. He just rolls it out. Now being pressed here by CKU. Nascimento takes a little bit of a spill as he was kicking it away. Again, that speaks to the slickness of the turf field out here. And oh man,
Yeah.
we got a huge collision just outside of your camera view, I think. That involved there was Tomas Arriagada. He's getting spoken to by the official. No card there. But that was one heck of a collision that, man, that would have been bad for us if
Yeah.
he collided with the defender, Jose Escobedo. Escobedo seems to be all right as Andrew Cole will take the kick now here for CKU. What a leg. The header applied by Kyle Lobo. Lobo trying to get it back. Here comes Freitas, and
Oh, gosh.
Freitas.
It's just one after the other at
I
this
know.
point.
It's starting to look more like a hockey game.
And I think to be fair, CKU is going to play into this a little bit, right? They're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
start falling and selling it and doing the dramatics because they're getting calls out of it in dangerous areas.
Andrew Quiros, the one that goes down there for CKU after the collision from Freitas. Freitas now having his own conversation with the official, and I think the official probably saying something along the lines of, guys, cool it a little bit because
It's
it
too
is getting
soon.
very physical.
Yeah, it's too early in the game. There's still a lot to be played. It's still tie. Let's just see how things develop.
Well, another free kick coming from Noel Zimbabwe, and he's got quite a few teammates around him. I see Seth Flores, and it looks like Zimbabwe is going to give it up to Flores. Zimbabwe goes back to join Gerardo Garcia. Garcia, again, had one of the goals in the 2-2 draw for CKU last week. As Zimbabwe, no, he will take it. Puts it towards net. Another big save by Luan Nascimento. Nascimento. He comes up when he needs to. And here's a big thing that I think we should talk about, Coach, and that is the fact that both Andrew Cole for CKU and Luan Nascimento are coming up big for their teams, but they're in two different ways.
Sure.
Cole is really showing his poise and under pressure with up close attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Nascimento, he's really been able to track the ball and he's been bringing them down from a distance.
Yep.
Do you think that if we start to see the teams maybe see that and try and press from a different way, that we could finally see a chink in the armor on one of those sides?
I do. I think even with that last set piece, it was just too easy for Nascimento. Either he needs to be on the ground and slick, like play into the rain conditions and try to get a really quick bounce that he's not ready for, or it has to be nowhere near him, like high top bins, right corner, left corner. But they're kind of playing into their strengths a little bit right now.
Well, the ball goes back to Nascimento. He surveys the field, then lets one loose right down towards the 35-yard line here at Jones Field. Fighting for control at center are CKU and EFC, and CKU decides to send it right back over to Andrew Cole. Cole sends it down the way. Now it's being fought for again. A bunch of headers from both sides at midfield. A little bit of a tangle up. Zimbabwe was tying up. I believe that was with Luis Barin. No, actually that was Alex Almeida he was tying up with there. And a lot of limbs getting tangled and a lot of legs banging together here, Coach.
There sure are, and it should make for an interesting game.
22 minutes, 15 seconds gone in the first frame. Still 0-0. FC has had their chances, as have CKU, as we get another little collision. A brilliant shot on goal and a big save by Andrew Cole. That one fired by Alex Almeida. And Cole comes up big.
The nice thing is you're seeing the shots on frame. That's the biggest thing. At least test the keeper because he could make a mistake.
Well, and he just fired it straight down the middle. You wonder if he would have gotten just a little bit of an arc on that.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, boy. And we get it.
Offside.
Okay. I thought we were going to get another foul called on Emporia FC, but thankfully it was offside on the other way. Freitas sends it towards the 50-yard line. It goes out of bounds right into our good friend Gabe over on the other side. He looks to be okay. He's unfazed. Gabe's a stone wall. Nothing's going to faze him. The announcer here at Emporia FC, we should say. Gabe does a great job. Nascimento comes out of goal to try and free the ball away here. And, man, another big collision.
You're just starting to see a little bit of a loss of composure.
Well, and I'm surprised we're not seeing it more on both sides. It feels as though, you mentioned earlier, I think CKU is playing into this aggression
Absolutely.
Emporia FC is showing right now, and they're just not getting out of the way.
Yeah, they're just disrupting how Emporia FC want to play with being physical.
Oh, Freitas gets a little bit of a shoulder shimmy there from CKU in the form of Andrew Quiros. And possession goes back to the Black Lions.
Here, if we could just keep it for like 30 seconds, just keep it in bounds, start to get into some rhythm routine, start to build.
Kyle Lobo was trying to feed it down to Alex Almeida. It just went off Almeida's foot. He loses possession, and then FC starts to get it back. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by, they're saying, Gerardo Garcia, so it'll go back to an FC. Throw-in goes from Richard Freitas. Fighting for it now is Kyle Lobo. Lobo gets to bang off the shin of Seth Flores from CKU. I'm trying to see, are they saying it was out of bounds or are they saying it was a foul? I think they're saying it was foul, so I think FC's getting a free kick. It just should go to tell you, we're watching it in person, live from up high. That's how fast-paced the action has been.
It is, and it's just, it's start, stop, and it's like, what's happening? What's the stop for?
Tomas Arriagada had a chance to fire one on goal, but it's taken away by CKU. Now back into the possession of FC in the form of Kyle Lobo. Works it left side. Mario Sandoval on the right side of the field now with it. Tries to get it back. Collides with Juan Maldonado. Maldonado goes down, and now we get a yellow on Mario Sandoval. Oh, man. That's the second yellow card issued against Emporia FC in the first 25 minutes of the match. So Sandoval will join Joao Almeida in that regard, and now those two have to be extremely careful. The only benefit for Almeida is, he's a center back,
Yep.
so he's not going to be up in anyone's face, so he has a little bit more opportunity for restraint, but Sandoval is right in the thick of things. He's in the trenches. He's in the firing squad. I mean, this is going to be interesting. A good show of respect there between himself and Juan Maldonado.
Yeah, you just don't want it to subtract from his playing ability because he just starts to get frustrated or loses composure.
Well, not to mention when you have that yellow card on you,
Yeah, you
you're also
worry.
worried about making a mistake, so you
Hmm.
might be a little bit more timid.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice lead pass down the stretch, bringing it down to Sandoval. Going to try and make up for the yellow card a moment ago. He stops his momentum, feeds it across the way. It's headed away by CKU. Back in possession of Emporia FC. Stutter step by Hector Hernandez. Oh, man. Hernandez had a great opportunity to fire one in on Cole, and he just hesitated. A slide tackle and a little bit of a
I would
hip
have called
check.
that. Yeah, there was a foul there.
Wow, I think there might have been
Yeah,
two.
I think there might have been two as well.
We might be biased, though. Keeping it inbounds miraculously was Mateo Hoyos for CKU, and a takeaway here by Nascimento. Referee has blown his whistle to signal something.
I think it was out of bounds on this side.
I was going to say, I mentioned that Hoyos had kept it in, but I wasn't sure he had. It looked like he might have toe tapped the line a little bit.
And to be honest with, there's a lot of lines on this field and not many soccer lines, and it can be kind of difficult to tell.
It can be a little disorienting.
Yes.
Absolutely. Back on the attack is CKU. Good defense here from Emporia FC. Clearing it out of the box are the Black Lions. Met at midfield by CKU. Nice header there by Jose Escobedo. But Emporia FC gets it back, and Sandoval just got a little too far ahead of himself.
He needs to be careful.
I think Sandoval thought it was still into touch, and he wasn't getting off of it, and Jose Escobedo wasn't having any of it. I think Escobedo thought he was. I think that was
Yeah,
just a miscommunication, is what I'm trying to say.
for sure. He's just going to be a target because everyone knows he's on a yellow, and if you wear the number 10 jersey, it typically means you're the best player. So
Really?
it's the common belief.
Did
So
not know that.
yeah, he's going to be a target for a little bit of that.
You wear the number 10, you get marked with a pin.
It's
Right
a lot
there.
of responsibility.
Approaching the 30-minute mark here of the first half, still 0-0. CKU now with possession, trying to get it into the Emporia FC zone. Quiros fires it left side. They put a long shot on goal. It's toe tapped away and out of bounds by Joao Almeida. So Almeida coming up big there, clearing that one out of the zone. But we're going to get the first look at what CKU can do with a corner opportunity, Coach.
Yeah, it's definitely changed the tide a little bit. It's way more balanced than it was initially.
Yeah.
So the last thing you want here is to concede and then have to dig yourself out.
Noel Zimbabwe, we've seen what he can do from a point blank or a straight on shot. I'm not sure what he's able to do here from a corner. We're about to find out as he sends it into the box. Ball goes way up. Flores tries to fire one in. It's no good. Then he'll just send a Shaquille O'Neal sized shot right over.
Corner kicks on this field are a bit different too because most teams aren't accustomed to the distance. So you do have to really refine that technique that you're accustomed to on a large field.
Less power or more power?
Less, more finesse.
I tried a penalty one time when I was a summer camp counselor. We had some staff from England and my good friend Tom, he's a Liverpool fan,
Nice.
uh, brought out the kit and everything, and he had us take penalties.
Love that.
I thought, oh, this couldn't be so hard. I sent that sucker flying at least 68 yards the wrong
Right.
way.
It looks easy, but it's not.
Yeah, you don't realize power is not always your best friend in that
Yes,
situation.
absolutely.
And the funniest part was I even said to myself, I'm not kicking it that hard.
The moment gets to you, though.
It does, yeah. The lights were on bright. The kids were watching. I can't screw this up.
The
What did I do?
pressure.
Airmailed it. And that is why you will never see me on the Emporia FC pitch unless I'm conducting an interview, folks. And everyone at home watching said, thank God. 31 minutes gone here in the first frame. Still 0-0 as Andrew Cole sends it way out of bounds. Hector Hernandez throws it into Freitas. Freitas back to Hernandez. It's poked out of bounds once again, this time by Mateo Hoyos of CKU. Both coaches keeping their composure very well. They haven't moved much.
Nope.
Very locked in. Coach Ibarra, Coach Martin. Should also point out, Coach Martin, we get to have the league commissioner in the house, which is pretty great. Hopefully he watches this back and says, man, that's a great 2-0 right there. Calling these matches. As Emporia FC getting another free kick opportunity. And as we can see here on the windows high atop the Lions Den, the sprinkles starting to turn into a little bit more frequent rainfall. And again, as the match goes on, that's going to be a big factor. Fighting for possession at midfield. It's won by FC. Nice service into the box. Whoa, yeah. What a collision!
If I was a coach, that's where I'd lose my composure.
I think Coach Ibarra might have a little bit there. That was just a straight up tackle.
Yeah, I definitely think if there was VAR, it would be reviewed.
Wow.
I don't know if it's necessarily a pen, but there's definitely a case for it.
That was well, I'm just going to say, Joao Almeida kind of just gave a little nudge and got a yellow. I'm surprised that didn't at least get a talking to, but hey, I guess let him play. Good hands down there by Mark Martin, who brings down the out-of-bounds ball. That thing came flying in there. Coach Martin just one-handed up there. That's why he's the commish right there. He's got the handles. I'll bet he was a goalkeeper.
So much just slipping and sliding. It's crazy.
Freitas was trying to service it down low, and he just lost his footing.
Oof.
Joao Almeida loses the handle on it, gets tied up with the CKU player. No foul will be called either way. I think that's the right call. It was just a simple little collision, and nobody was trying to initiate anything as Flores works it to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe getting trapped at midfield. He'll back off, let FC try and carry it up the way. Trying to feed it through was Alex Almeida, and Almeida will send it off the shin of a CKU player. I believe that was Flores. That's the thing about soccer is when it gets going quick, it's hard to follow sometimes. It's lightning fast.
It's a very continuous game.
Yeah.
Unlike football or basketball where you have timeouts, you have stoppages, you have rotation. This can just really roll and it can go pretty quick.
Yeah. Approaching 35 minutes gone here in the first half. Still 0-0 thus far. Throw into the box and some bodies get tangled. Nobody going to get whistled? Yes, actually, I think they are. It's going to go against CKU, so it'll be a kick here for Emporia.
And you can see now the referee's really just trying to get a handle on this game.
Well, and you'll hear that in some sports, when things get very chippy and a little aggressive, people will tell the referee, hey, get it under control before somebody gets hurt. And I like the official right here. He's letting some things go, but when he starts to see things getting a little too heated, he steps in. That's great officiating right there.
It just has to be consistent, even if it's whatever he's going with, whatever that decision is, that he does it for both teams.
Collision on the header there. Mario Sandoval ends up on the ground, and we're going to get a free kick for Emporia FC. Arguing against it is Gerardo Garcia, and the official not hearing anything of it. I think also pleading the case is Mateo Hoyos down there, but now coming in to talk to him. As the official, he's not, he's kind of just, come on, guys, let's go.
Yeah, and a really good opportunity here again from a reasonable distance where you can either put it on frame or you could set up a teammate for something really special.
But again, FC not dropping back very far.
And even right now, yeah, I mean, they could send more players forward.
Shot on goal, and no good. Another save by Andrew Cole. That was a great shot right over the wall. Just could not get it to go past Cole.
No, and he's doing a solid job, Cole, but to be fair, a lot of them are pretty routine saves.
Fair enough. You're making me sound like I don't know what I'm talking
No,
about. I'm
no.
kidding.
You want
I'm
the
kidding.
highlight reel saves, right? Like the
Yeah.
ones that you take the pictures and the videos of.
The ones that you sit there and go, there's no way that didn't go in.
100%.
Absolutely. Luan Nascimento, ball getting a little too close for his comfort. He comes and scoops it up. I think I'm speaking, from the average, person's perspective. When you see a shot like that, and I mean it seriously, it is amazing to see. But I love the fact that you mentioned that's just an average save. But to someone like me who's not very fast, not very quick, not very cat-like as Cole is, that ball's going in. I mean,
100%.
that's the thing to me that's so amazing is how simple they make it look.
And that's the thing. I think it's maybe not average, but routine. Like
Alex Almeida was fighting. Alex Almeida was fighting for it. Fridas now joining him there. Almeida has it again. Hoyos gets past the defense. Now he's got a shot on goal. It's taken away by Emporia FC. Great defense by the Black Lions. And it's taken right back now. Gerardo Garcia getting in on it. Coming out to make the save again is Nascimento.
yeah, they handled that really well defended, low level of risk.
"38 minutes, 23 seconds gone thus far in the first frame. Still 0-0 despite some great opportunities from both teams.
Yeah, I would say if we looked at it, it's probably pretty balanced at this point in regards to like quality chances. Both teams have had them.
Absolutely. Ball worked through the CKU defense, and just coming out to provide a little cushion there was Andrew Cole. He didn't need to make the save. He just needed to make sure that he cut off the attacker there. As apologies, we had a little bit of a tip over there of the camera. Good save by Javen Arndt. The kid is a legend right there. Javen doing 40 jobs at once. Give him a lot of love. Back on the attack now is Emporia FC. Or sorry, CKU was actually on the attack. My apologies. FC manages to get it back away. It's now worked at midfield. CKU with possession. It's worked from Gerardo Garcia. Now to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe sends it down the way. A break on the ball has CKU and firing it off the front of Darwin Valles.
Yeah, we're seeing this game open up a lot more where teams are really starting to string some passes together and be able to create chances.
Well, CKU pushed it off the chest of Valles, but they had already stepped out of bounds before it went, so it stays with Emporia FC now. Tomas Arriagada from Chile, the midfielder. And I should mention, you see a lot of comfortability amongst some of these players, some of them who have never played together, but let me just read some of the home countries here. Brazil, Kansas, Ecuador, Chile, Nicaragua, Kansas, Spain, Brazil, Kansas, Brazil.
There are some pockets of locations there.
Yeah.
And all similar playing styles. Obviously, Kansas to Brazil or Spain is going to be different, but a lot of the Spanish influence will come through.
Well, but when you have, 6 or 7 Brazilians on your squad, you have a lot of guys that can think like-minded, and the more you're around those guys and the more that you're able to kind of soak up how they like to play, your playing style, even though it's not how you maybe grew up, starts to reflect that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think in the United States we emulate other countries. We don't have a true style because we're a little
Mm,
bit newer of a nation or not as developed with soccer as some other
fair.
countries. So the Brazilian style is one that a lot embrace.
Alex Almeida worked it over to the left side. We get a player tripped up, and, well, you could tell. CKU not happy with that call, but I think it was the right one. The legs kind of got swept out from under him, like his name is Daniel LaRusso. If you don't get that reference, I can't help you. That was a brilliant joke. I'm sorry. I don't usually gas myself up, but that was a brilliant joke. Another very, very chippy fight for the ball there. Ending up on the ground again is Mario Sandoval. And Sandoval still being aggressive in his own right despite the yellow card earlier on.
Yeah, he's doing a good job trying to draw a foul as well and kind of use it to his advantage because they're targeting him a bit.
Andrew Cole sends it down all the way nearly the opposite direction. Ball's worked back to Nascimento. He'll send it the other way, but the wind will carry it right over to our good friend Gabe once again. Good hands on that one, Gabe. I like how I say it louder as if you can hear me. There's our good friend Gabe Diaz-Serrano. Again, the public address announcer here at Emporia FC does a fantastic job. Little push from behind sends the FC player to the dirt. No foul called. CKU back on the attack now. 42 minutes, 30 seconds gone. A header on goal and way high. But a great opportunity created by CKU.
That
Just
was
a little
pretty.
too strong. And Luan Nascimento did a great job of getting in there, but I don't think he was going to be able to stop that one.
No, I mean that was really good build up. Both teams when they're attacking now, they're attacking with some vigor. So they got there and they really made the most of that.
We got an FC player down in the box right now. The official checking him out, trying to see exactly who that is. I believe that might be Almeida. Nonetheless, he seems to be a little shaken up, but he's getting back to it as Nascimento, just a short kick over to Amato. Now we're back to midfield. Jumping in on the play there was Mateo Hoyos of CKU, scrambling and trying to fight. Zimbabwe getting in on it. Now Mario Sandoval, nice fancy footwork, avoided the sweep there. They were trying to kick the ball out from under him. He kind of just got his legs up, cleared the ball. Great job by Sandoval.
This is good composure here from Emporia FC.
Luis Perrin tries to get it into the box, can't do it. Seth Flores with it now. With speed, down the length of the boundary line. He's got two men on him, and we get a tangle up in the box. No call there by the official, and I think that's great for Emporia FC, or are they going to give it to him?
Yeah, I think that's a fair not to call that. I think the referee owes Emporia FC one from earlier, and that may have come through just there.
She said it, not me. No, I think it's fair. I think there's
He's
been
being
some,
consistent, right?
yes, I think there's
I
been
think
some
that's
calls
fair.
that have gone
Yeah.
both ways, and I think, yeah, absolutely. That's just consistency out of the official. Good ups on him there. And plus, I'm not sure which way you could have called that. That just seemed
Yes,
like two
agreed.
players getting tangled up going for the ball. Flores gets challenged by Amado of Emporia FC. Flores wants to say that he was shoved off the ball. Amado saying he was just defending. Nascimento getting ready as we approach the 45-minute mark, and we have hit the first 45 minutes. See how much added time we'll have here.
And really, for both teams, you just need to see it out right now. You don't want to concede. You want to get to halftime, make your adjustments, and then really head into the second half strong.
Nascimento sends it to midfield. It's bouncing around a lot of blue jerseys right now. Getting in on the action was Hector Hernandez. Hernandez might have tripped up Flores, but no call there from the official. It's won back by CKU. Escobedo now to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. Nice lead pass to Quiros. Quiros tried to take a shot. Great defense again by the Black Lions. give the credit there to Hector Hernandez and Darwin Velez, the Nicaraguan and the Kansan, coming in to make the stop. Corner kick awarded here to CKU. Zimbabwe will take the honor. And not very spread out here is CKU as he sends it in. Good save by Emporia FC. I believe that's Velez who got in on it. I thought we were going to be in for a little bit more than that, but
Yeah, well, hey.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
46 minutes, 22 seconds played so far. Still 0-0 despite many opportunities on both sides of the pitch. It's been a back and forth kind of seesaw matchup. Oh, we're getting a...
It's interesting. So the AR on the side, he came across and he clearly flagged for something. I don't know when this occurred.
Yeah, I didn't see
He saw it specifically. I don't know if the center referee saw it until he made the signal.
Well, it's a penalty kick for Noel Zimbabwe. He can give CKU the lead. He faces Luan Nascimento. Shoulders on the hips here of Zimbabwe, not trying to give anything away. Nascimento trying to make himself big.
This is an interesting one. There's no half circle on top of the 18. That's a necessary marking. So right now there's no distance that they could all be anywhere.
Well, from 12 yards out, Zimbabwe versus Nascimento. Nascimento again making himself big here. Here comes the approach from Zimbabwe. He fires it. It's over the top! Over the top! It's 0-0 still!
It's one of those sayings that you hear, ball don't lie. Like, you don't score on things like that if the call isn't maybe fair.
My longtime friend and broadcast colleague, Michael Deeker, would be giving you a big pat on the back for that one of his favorite sayings. Ball don't lie, and we head to the half tied 0-0. Despite the PK opportunity for Noel Zimbabwe, he just shanked it too high, roofed it essentially, but didn't hit the ceiling. So, with that said, 48 minutes plus played so far in this matchup. Neither team has found the back of the goal. We'll see if that will change when we get ready for the last 45 minutes of regulation. But first, we have our halftime show coming up here on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. Make sure you stick around. We'll be back here shortly with some halftime stats, analysis, and eventually the second half of play. Welcome back into the Lions Den. Emporia FC fans, Tegan Terhune, Jane Grimley Gunn here with you at halftime. Still 0-0 between Emporia FC and CKU, Central Kansas United, as, well, Coach, it's been a very chippy game in a lot
It
of
has.
ways. A lot of physicality between these two. I think the first big note we need to point out here for those that are just tuning in, 2 yellow cards already handed out to Emporia FC. Mario Sandoval and Joao Almeida both receiving yellow cards there in the first half. How does that affect the strategy for Coach Ibarra going forward?
I think they have to be considerate of it, cautious of it. I think they could also use it to their advantage if they play
Mhm.
into it a little bit, but they just have to be aware of it. It's just a factor to consider.
Well, we've been talking a lot about Andrew Cole, the goalkeeper for CKU, as well as Luan Nascimento, both of them coming up with some big saves. Now, you'd mentioned that, routine saves for somebody who's been in goal for so long. But, I mean, the thing is, some of those goals, the shots, I mean, really have been pretty strong
They
and
have.
have had some good opportunities there. So they both have come up big. Do you think it's basically whichever goalkeeper breaks at this point, that's whose team's probably coming away with the victory?
I could see that. I think they're both proving to be really consistent, really reliable. If they have a slight misstep, I could see that. But I also think it's on the team to attack really well, too. And whoever can start to string passes together and really be dangerous,
Mhm.
I think they'll come away with it regardless.
Well, now, one thing to talk about here is just a few moments ago, we did see the first penalty kick awarded of the matchup here. That went to CKU. It was taken by Noel Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe just put a little too much oomph behind it, sent it over the goal. We mentioned, ball don't lie. We were sitting there kind of talking. We didn't know what the violation was. I actually communicated with the folks downstairs. Apparently, the official had said it was a handball
That's what I
violation
figured, yeah.
during the corner kick. They said that they just thought they saw a hand come in there, maybe slap the ball away a little bit. But I think again that goes to speak to the physicality that we've seen so far. These two teams really not being afraid to get in there with each other and kind of mix it up a little bit, regardless of what might happen.
And we've seen a little bit of the kind of confusion happen too
Mm,
with the physicality as well as the weather conditions and just things kind of getting out of hand a little bit, no
mm.
pun intended, and must
Sure.
have just kind of occurred.
That was a good one. I know it was no pun intended, but that was a good one. I think the big thing too is, and I kind of had talked with this, with the coaches down there a little bit, and you've brought it up a few times. It's a smaller field. I feel like, if this was maybe more of a larger field, something that both teams are maybe a little bit more accustomed to, I think we could probably see a different
Yeah.
set of numbers on the scoreboard there. Again, still 0-0, but
Yep.
you had talked about Zimbabwe there for CKU. He looks like somebody who's really used to putting a lot more power behind those kicks. He's having to put a little bit more finesse behind
Yeah.
them. Do you think that if we are playing on a larger field, that CKU might actually be in the lead here with some of the opportunities they've had from Emporia FC? I mean, that speaks one to the physicality of what he does. I mean, he's really forced time. It's just slick down there,
Yeah.
and you've got people on top of you. It seems like trying to carry that weight, trying to keep the ball free, and trying to move your feet around it. I mean, that's the thing is you talk about the finesse. How do you accommodate and kind of get your feet under you when you are playing in these slick conditions?
It's a bit distracting, I think, especially
Yeah.
for how Emporia FC want to play. I think you started to see that in moments they were losing their identity a little bit, and they
Mm,
were falling into the conditions of the physicality of the weather and all those things, and then you aren't doing what you want. They're probably not achieving the objectives that they're
sure.
really looking for. So hopefully, if they can get a handle on that, you'll see a bit more of their true style come out.
Coach, you're down on the pitch now. You're in the driver's seat, as I know you're comfortable with being.
Sure.
What is your message for your team if you're Coach Victor Ibarra?
Well, first, I'm glad the penalty happened. I'm glad that you get a little bit of taste of, okay, we got to wake up and you got away with it. You got
Mhm.
lucky because really they probably should have scored against us.
Sure.
And then you'd be fighting a deficit. So now it's like, okay, you got your little bit of a gift. Now let's go ahead and go in there and really take advantage of the opportunity at
Don't look
hand.
the gift horse in the mouth. Start
Yes.
riding that horse a little bit. Absolutely. Before we go ahead and send it back to a break and get ready for the second half, did want to give you a chance, Coach. We've said before, the head coach of Emporia State Soccer here at beautiful Emporia State University. I know you've all had some things going on. You had an alumni game
We did.
earlier today. How was that?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Chaotic. There was no score in the end. I don't think we just kind of lost track, but it was a really, really good time and great to have them back.
Well, of course, you've only been here now 2 years,
Yeah.
or going on 2 years.
Yes.
Getting to see some of the alumni back, maybe meet some of the players from the past. How was that for you as you're still, I would argue, have already well integrated yourself, but still kind of getting used to the culture and getting used to the history here?
It was nice because it was a little bit of a gap in time. So like it
Mhm.
was more of the 2014 through 2016 graduates, like some of them who really hadn't been back to Emporia in a
Mhm.
little bit, and kind of saw some changes and got to see what we're doing. So it was nice to meet them because I really didn't know a lot of them just yet.
Well, that'd be great for your coaching staff as well. I
For
mean,
sure.
and by the way, a great staff that you have.
They are great.
Yes, they are. One, of course, I know you're definitely maybe a little bit more a big fan
Biased.
of, a little biased of course, being your husband George
You'd
Gunn.
be surprised. You might be my least favorite at times.
He has to ride home with you after the game.
Correct.
So, but can you talk a little bit? If I'm getting too personal, please tell me.
No,
But
I'm very open about it.
how is that dynamic?
It's challenging.
Yeah,
It's rewarding. Like I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else because you can't trust anyone more than the person that you're married to, obviously.
right.
And I wouldn't have picked him if he wasn't really good at his job.
I like
But you can't separate.
that.
Clearly, he's here today. This is our Saturday night, and here we are. So the
After a busy
pros and
Saturday,
cons,
because you guys
right?
also had a kids clinic
We
today as
did.
well. So
Busy, busy day.
okay,
But
now I have to ask maybe the most hard-hitting question I've ever asked anybody on a headset, and I apologize for putting you in the hot seat here. George, of course, from England.
yep,
You call it soccer.
correct.
Does that ever lead to any kind of argument or division in the Grimley Gun House?
I respect it.
Nothing but the best going forward with the upcoming season.
Thank
So
you.
glad that everything is going well there. We're going to go ahead. Quick break. We'll be right. When we come back, we have second half action 0-0. Emporia FC playing host to CKU. We're back here in 30 seconds on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. And we are back high atop the Lions Den here on the campus of Emporia State University, Welch Stadium, Jones Field, as we have resumed action here. The final 45 minutes of regulation underway in this 0-0 tie between FC, your Black Lions, and CKU, Central Kansas United. And as Coach Gene Grimley Gunn, joined of course by myself, Tegan Terhune, had alluded to earlier, this has been a very chippy game. There's a lot of elements at play here. There's the slight rainfall, there's the wind, there's the shorter field, and really, Coach, how instrumental, I didn't really ask this question in the halftime break, but how instrumental do you think that first 45 minutes is for a team who's used to playing on a larger field to get acclimated and maybe start to really turn it on?
Oh, I think it's huge. It's because they'll train on fields this size, so it's not crazy. But when you're in this game mindset of what you usually do
Mm.
and it doesn't work, then they have to start problem solving, which I think they've had enough time to do now.
Well, and most fields, to my recollection, my knowledge, are not turf. They are traditional grass
Yeah,
fields.
that's the ideal.
Emporia FC now on the attack. Rushing in was Alex Almeida. He gets tripped up just off to the left side of the CKU goal. Believe they're going to award a corner here to Emporia FC as we got a player down in blue. Almeida with a great break on the goal. Lost the foot race.
It's good intensity though from Emporia FC from the start. We hope that that can continue.
See who the player down on the field was. That is Alejandro Cabello. Cabello, the defender, came in with a slide tackle, and I think he just, some shins might have gotten a little tied up there. As here comes the corner for FC. Nice service inside. Coming right out is Cole. Man, Andrew Cole is fearless.
He's doing a great job. He's really holding things together.
Vic, don't hold it against us, but I mean, hey, it's hard to deny the guy's pretty solid in goal. I mean, you got to give credit where it's due.
It's just giving his team a lot of comfort too. If you have a keeper like that, then you can really just play how you want to play.
Well, the way he's playing, I'm surprised that they gave up 2 goals in their last matchup. I mean, really, the way that he is not afraid to attack the play. Forget the ball. He's just not afraid to attack the play. Cole just give a short kick over to the right side to Cabello. Cabello working it up towards midfield. It's taken back by FC momentarily in the form of Hector Hernandez. I think he was leaving it for a teammate, but nobody came. And oh boy, dangerously close there to having a foot in the face. As I think Andrew Quiros was trying to tell the official he almost got kicked in the face. I mean, it was incidental contact, but still, it's a rough sport, ladies and gentlemen. Seth Flores. Seth Flores was getting ready to throw it in and gets stopped on a dime as the official having a conversation with one of the Black Lions.
Yeah,
That's
it's just a
Joao
lot of
Almeida.
contact. And this is an area of the field where you're going to see constant touching.
Yeah. And well, Almeida is trying to be he's trying to pressure as much as possible, but again, Almeida has one of the 2 yellow cards here for Emporia FC, so he has to be very careful how physical he is defensively. Ball gets sent in. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by the boys in black. So ball back into the box of Emporia FC, and PKU tried to fire one on goal, and his feet just went out from under him. Out of bounds. It will go back to Emporia, and Nascimento will handle it. Sends it left side of the box to Valles. Valles back to Nascimento, and here we go. Back to this little tiki-taka style of passing as look for Emporia FC to try and open up that midfield and burst through it. See, I pay attention when you talk, Coach.
I love it.
I'm a quick learner. Emporia had a good opportunity there to open something up on the left side boundary, but Mario Sandoval turns it back over. Now CKU on the attack again, trying to track it down as Mateo Hoyos. Hoyos getting tied up. I believe that's Amado of Emporia. Joao Amado, the center back from Brazil. Ooh, another little bit of
Yeah.
chippiness there. That one from Gerardo Garcia of CKU flying in over the back of the Emporia FC player. Emporia still struggling to get it through midfield cleanly, Coach.
Yeah, it's been a lot of bouncing balls. It's just got to get on the floor and start to just connect a bit.
The throw in from Joao Aguiar. Fighting for it now is Luis Barin, and Barin loses it as it goes back towards midfield. They're going to signal a free kick here to Emporia FC. And it's starting to look like CKU is taking a page out of Emporia's book. The first half coming out very
They are.
aggressively to start.
I think they've changed a bit of their shape. It looks like they're attacking with more numbers than they were, which is probably wise. And it looks like they've also configured their shape to better suit the playing conditions.
Hector Hernandez has it from 36 yards out. Definitely not going to try and put this one on net, but maybe try and create an opportunity here. 6.5 minutes gone in the
It's a
second
good
half.
ball.
Coming out again is Andrew Cole. Cole's out of position. Emporia FC trying to make something happen. They lob it, and it's no good. Caio Lobo picked up the loose garbage in front of the goal, tried to fire it back to an open shooter, and just about a touch too late.
Yep. That was a really good opportunity though because they know Cole's aggressive. He's going to come out and try to win it. So if you can put him in difficult situations where he can't really get to it that well, they're going to have some success.
Put some bait on the line, essentially.
Yes.
That was maybe the first time Cole looked like he was maybe about to make a mistake as he kind of dove out there for the ball. He left the goal wide open with 2 shooters on the right side, and nobody really back to stop him. Throw in goes towards the Emporia goal, but headed out of bounds by Darwin Valles of Emporia FC. It'll be a corner here for CKU. It'll be handled by Seth Flores. Flores, maybe the best hair on the night on the field. We'll hand out trophies later. Good service into the box, headed away by FC, then trying to get a last shot on the goal was CKU. It goes over the top and out of bounds. I think they're actually going to say Emporia got a touch on it before it went out.
There's a little deflection, I think.
Yep. So Flores sets up on the corner kick again. CKU way back, drifting off to what we see as the left side of the goal would be the right side for Nascimento. And he actually sends it up towards the 30-yard line, 25-yard line. Zimbabwe tries to get to it. He lost his footing, and I think if Zimbabwe hadn't slipped on trying to get that ball, there's a better opportunity there for CKU, but he was a half step behind because he tripped up on that turf, and he was trying to force the play home a little bit. It gave enough time for Nascimento to get in front of it and get a few defenders on it as well, so a little bit of a break there for Emporia FC.
It was a nice idea, though, a different take that we haven't really seen with a corner kick yet.
Fridas got a touch on it. It goes out of bounds as FC again struggling to get through the midfield here. We haven't really seen a big push yet by Emporia FC after they had quite a few big bursts up the middle.
Yeah, we just got to kind of get onto the ball a little bit.
Fridas has it at midfield, now works it over the way. Trying to fight for it there is Caio Lobo. Lobo not giving up on it. Great job. Gets it over to Mario Sandoval. Sandoval having to fight off Andrew Quiros. And now it's back to Zimbabwe of CKU. Fridas tried to stop the pass.
Good.
It gets knocked down now by Emporia FC, and they're back in control. Sandoval, left side of the field, was trying to lob it up front to Alex Almeida, and it's cut off by CKU. Almeida wanting some sort of call from the official, and I think he's going to get it. They're going to get a free kick. No, actually, they get the throw in. Sorry, couldn't see past our filmer right there. CKU takes it back in midfield. Now in a foot race, it's Gerardo Garcia of CKU. It's taken back by Emporia FC in the form of Joao Almeida. We've got a CKU player down. That's Seth Flores. Flores finally gets back up, tries to push it back towards the goal. It's taken back by Emporia FC now at midfield by Mario Sandoval.
And this is a better opportunity here. The longer they take to go forward, though, the more numbers that they're getting back.
Sandoval gives it to Luis Barin. Barin was trying to make something happen with it, but he had two players on top of him the whole way down about 20 yards.
Yeah, I think right now Emporia FC just has to maintain possession, even if they play negative, to then go forward because we're just trying to force it, and they've got too many numbers behind.
Over 10 minutes gone now in the second half, still tied 0-0. Andrew Quiros now has it down low. He works it up front. It's taken back by Emporia FC. Trying to clear it out. Can't do it. CKU doing a great job of keeping that ball in the Emporia zone. Flores has it now off the right side of the box. And we get a player tripped up for Emporia FC, grabbing at the right leg. I think that's Luis Barin. That's not good. Great pass up the middle and just can't really get free. Tomas Arriagada, he had it on his feet, but wasn't able to get past the defenders. Another collision at midfield between two players, and we get another stoppage here. The official going to come talk to the FC player. I believe that's Caio Lobo. As again, things getting very physical down low. And we still have a man down right near the 40-yard line. Official coming to talk to him there is, man, he's been nursing that for a little bit. That's Alex Almeida. Almeida's been down for about 5 minutes, or it feels like anyway. It's really been about a minute. Really about a minute. Almeida talking to the official, and whatever the official had to say, Almeida didn't like it, but it's the way it's going to be. Free kick is awarded to CKU. Over 57 minutes have been played as we see a light mist developing here. Good reach up and takeaway by Luan Nascimento. Nascimento very composed on that one. You talk about just routine. He made that one
He
look
did.
very routine, Coach.
And it was good for him just to wait a second there, too, to make sure the picture in front of him was what he wanted because they just keep turning the ball over like that.
Zimbabwe has it now for CKU. Gets it to Flores. Flores could have had a good setup there, but good job by the Emporia defense to get back. And now, well, trying to get free with it was Emporia FC, but the defenders there for CKU, a little handsy, but nothing will be called as Mario Sandoval has it on the left side boundary of the field. Gives it over to Joao Aguiar. Aguiar tries to send it into the box, and it's headed out by CKU. Keeping it inbounds. Flores has it. He gets tangled up with Aguiar. And they're going to say a free kick awarded. CKU wasting no time.
And that's where you can just see the intensity of this game is high. He just kicked it to try to get going, but
Yeah.
just it's just crazy.
The official said
Yeah.
no. No, 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 not today. He told him to hold up a minute. I think that's one thing that some people often get confused about, too, is, you know, when it comes to the pace of the match, Coach, I mean, obviously you got to wait for the signal from the official. Isn't that correct? Before you can
Yes.
actually take that kick.
Yes. And it can happen pretty quickly, but in that moment, and especially now that they're doing some substitutions, it can.
Coming off the pitch for CKU is Mateo Hoyos. Trying to see who that was coming on. We have two substitutions coming in for Emporia FC. Out there now, we have Ryan Snell. Snell actually had one of the goals in the matchup against Dodge City as well. He is joined out there by Henry Munoz of Ecuador. Munoz, the striker,
Center attacking mid.
the center attacking
So
midfielder.
midfielder.
I knew that's what it was. I was making sure.
Always love the test.
We got to keep you on your toes
Yeah,
up here,
I
Coach,
know.
you know?
You could say Cam. That's accepted.
Oh, boy. CKU with another throw in here as Seth Flores throws it right into the box. An opportunity here. Danger for Emporia. But again, too strong. Ball goes right over the goal. And FC will have it here. Nascimento, a little bit of a fake out.
It's impressive that nothing has been scored yet because there have been so many chances here in really dangerous zones that just haven't fallen into place yet.
61 minutes remain, or 61 minutes have been played, sorry, I should say, so far in this matchup. And as Coach Grimley Gunn just stated, nobody has scored yet, despite the opportunities, as the misting starting to get a little bit more prevalent down there as Emporia into the zone as Ryan Snell got tangled up with a CKU defender. Nothing will be called, but it will be a goal kick here for the boys in blue in CKU.
Looks like it'll also be a free kick.
You are correct. They fooled me. Freitas gets knocked down in the scrum, trying to knock the ball away. Emporia desperately trying to clear it out of the zone. A shot goes off the bum of Almedo and out of bounds.
And it's just end line to end line to end line. It's very fast flowing to the attack.
Setting up for the corner. I thought it was going to be Andrew Quiros, but he will not take it. Believe that will be Zimbabwe. He's been the corner king so far tonight. He's taken almost every single one. Served it into the box, goes over the heads of everybody else. Flores trying to track it down for CKU. Can't get there in time, and it'll roll out of bounds. A throw in here for Emporia. And you got to think, Coach, he's going to try and send it upfield as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he does. Snell was trying to get in there for the header. Wasn't able to do much with it, but it was last touched by CKU, so another throw in here for Emporia. Sending it up the way to Snell. It's headed away. by CKU. And again, very stop-start pace here,
Mm-hmm.
much like the first. Little
It,
bit of a trip up there, slip by Henry Munoz. Just shows you how slick the conditions are down there. Kyle Lobo trying to keep it on the CKU side of the field. We got a little bit of a development here. Nice lead pass, trying to track it down was Alex Almeida, but once again, Andrew Cole comes out of goal to take that one away.
both teams have been doing a really good job when they've regained possession, attacking quickly and trying to make something of it.
I think that might have been the first real good break we've seen from Emporia, though, so far in this
Yeah,
game.
in some time.
They've had a few opportunities, but really they've been about a step behind or maybe just a step too far ahead. That one, he had perfect timing. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to stop Cole, and that's kind of been the story of the game thus far.
Yeah, CKU's got at least 4 players back on defense at all times, so it's just hard on a narrower field to really penetrate and find spaces between them. So when they're going on their own on the dribble, they've had a lot of success.
We were having a little bit of a conversation, a powwow between the officials, and I see Mario Sandoval down there for Emporia. He and one of the CKU players chopping it up. I'm not really sure what the conversation was. We got to get a microphone down there. That's the perfect job for George. George,
He's
we're
all,
putting.
I'm sure he wants a job.
What's that?
I'm sure he would love a job.
Put him down there, make him our man on the sideline. Speaking as a sideline reporter for a form of football, it's a lot of fun.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's a different layout.
Luan Nascimento reels in the home run kick there by CKU and gets it back to the boys in black. Freitas was trying to get it to Lobo, and Lobo again just a little too far behind it. My apologies. That's Joel Aguiar. Nascimento was being challenged there. He sends it up to midfield. Still fighting to get through that midfield cleanly is Emporia FC. Again, they've generated a few opportunities, but much like their last home game when they were playing in the preseason, they struggled to get it through that midfield cleanly, and it cost them more than once.
It does, and it's just they're a little bit disconnected right now, and it's just hard to string the passes together in the way that they like to play when they're just not quite on the same page. The distances are a little bit off, the decision making is a little bit off.
Another substitution here for Emporia FC out onto the pitch now is Jack Montgomery of Kansas, the left back. 66 and a half minutes played as Coach Ibarra starting to shift things up a little bit, get some of the tired legs off the pitch, get some fresher legs out there, and that might make the difference.
Yeah, even if they just bring a bit of energy and a different skill set, that'd be nice to see.
Flores has it now for CKU. He works it towards the 25-yard line. It's intercepted there by Freitas. Now we've got some momentum going Emporia FC's way.
Yeah.
Alex Almeida was trying to handle it, and he gets brought down by the jersey. The guilty party there was Alejandro Cabello, and Cabello, that's not the first time he's gotten a little bit too handsy on an Emporia FC player.
It's good to see a yellow card awarded to the opposition as well.
As Cabello will be booked. That was, can't say it was wholly intentional, but it's about as blatant as you can get.
He had to do it in a lot of ways. He was doing it tactically, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Freitas setting up for the free kick. This will be from 30 yards out. See if he tries to just send it straight up the way. Here's the approach. Good ball, but can't get through the wall. I'm wondering if he was trying to bend it around them, or maybe he
Yeah.
was trying to get a little more height on that one, Coach.
It was a tough one because it was so central. He kind of had to get it around the wall, either to the right or the left, and that's That's just more tricky to do than being when you're offset.
Mm.
But sometimes you just hit the wall once and then you hope the next time they duck.
Send a little message.
Yes.
We are approaching the 69th minute of play here in this scoreless matchup. Again, opportunities in abundance. If they awarded points for most opportunities, both teams would have several points on the board. It's just both goalkeepers have done a great job of staying in front of the play and not letting anything squeak through. Official stop the play. We've got a player down for Emporia FC at the very tip of the Power E here at Jones Field on the campus of Emporia State Welch Stadium. Again, if you're just tuning in, Tegan Terhune, the voice of Emporia FC, joined by the coach, Jane Grimley Gunn, head coach of Emporia State Soccer, and one heck of a color analyst. So glad to
Thanks.
have your expertise up here in the booth.
It's a good time.
Coming off the pitch now for Emporia FC will be Kyle Lobo. As Lobo lost a shoe. Another pair of fresh legs coming in to the matchup here for Emporia FC. Trying to get a read on the number there. Here comes the free kick. Nice service into the box, but again, just a little bit too high there for CKU. As the fresh legs out on the pitch for Emporia FC, Michael Martinez. The
Center
defensive
defensive mid. Yeah, you got it.
midfielder.
See, these are a little bit more complex terms they've got over here.
I wrote those.
Oh, did
I
ya?
did.
I love to see it.
Thank you.
You could go even. There's numbers that are associated with each
Oh, it's
of
okay.
them. We can get to that next week.
I'll tell you what, Coach. I'll give you a call. You can sit down and run through those with me. Freitas gets tripped up as he was trying to generate some momentum. Freitas does a good job, just powers right back up. We get a little bit of a collision at midfield. No call going either way. Again, very chippy here between these two. Very physical with over 70 minutes played. Just a little less than 20 minutes remaining in regulation. Another great defensive effort here by FC, but it looks like it's going to result in a free kick, or they're going to give the throw in. I think they're giving the throw in.
Yeah. It was a great tackle.
Yeah. Good stop there. Sending it back out of play was Michael Martinez. Been in for about a minute now here. He was replacing Kyle Lobo, the Brazilian. Martinez of Kansas. Again, as a proud Kansan, you love to see some of your fellow Sunflower Staters out there as Nascimento takes away a golden opportunity there for CKU, but he did hesitate just a little. Wonder if he'd been another step behind it. It looked like Camille Coombe was coming in with some dangerous intentions, and that little slight hesitation could have made a big difference.
I think for a goalkeeper today, too, they just have to be extra intentional with what's going on because one little slip or bounce changes everything.
Well, both goalkeepers have been darn near perfect
They have.
in their approaches. High angle kick there by Diego Albanez of CKU. Albanez, the forward. Now with it, getting tripped up is Darwin Valles. The guilty party there, again, was Diego Albanez, and Albanez now with a yellow card. So 2 yellow cards apiece for CKU and Emporia. EFC getting their 2 yellow cards in the first half, going to Mario Sandoval, and before him it was Joao Almeida. Now here in the second, Alejandro Cabello and Diego Albanez have both been booked. So I think the official is maybe sending a bit of a message there as well, kind of saying, all right, guys,
Enough's enough.
enough's
yeah.
enough.
And I think if anything, Emporia FC's been a bit more contained this half, and
Yeah.
it's smarter, and they really haven't been at risk a whole lot. They're just not quite capitalizing just yet.
Well, the free kick is awarded to Richard Freitas. Freitas will have 44 yards to work from. Nice high
Great
shot,
service.
sends it in, and just routine there for Andrew Cole. And that's difficult too, though, Coach, when you have that ball flying in there at that perfect angle where they can see it, you can see it. You
Yeah,
go up for that. It's a 50-50 chance that someone's getting called for a foul if you collide.
100%. Yeah, he's got to make the right decision there with the right timing for it to work out.
I mean, it goes both ways
Yep.
on that
Yep.
too. If
Absolutely.
you definitely don't want to be the guy that takes out the goalkeeper.
No. And often it's not intentional. It's just when the ball's in the air, you're not really looking at the things
Yeah.
around you necessarily.
Well, and speaking as a guy that comes from a hockey background, which a lot of people like to call soccer on ice at
Yeah.
times, we do have several unspoken rules in there. And one of the things is you don't touch the goalkeeper.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you do not touch the goaltender. As Emporia breaks through! Andrew Cole just slipped up and Emporia puts it in the back! Ryan Snell! And just like that, it's 1-0 Emporia as Snell highlight. That's a flex, big guy. Good job, Ryan Snell. I got to ask, Coach, though, when you have a goal like that, when there's a lot happening, you get in front of the defenders right there, there's got to be a slight moment where you're sitting there going, please don't call offsides. Please don't call
Oh, of
offsides.
course.
Please
Every
don't call
time.
offsides.
Especially nowadays where it's just such an area of focus, especially at the highest level, where offside, and even when you get into VAR and all of that now, you're just like, come on, I hope, I hope.
Now we're getting a little bit more physicality as the ball comes free, taken by Alex Almeida of Emporia. Almeida all alone, making his way up towards the box. He fires one off to the right side. Andrew Cole sliding with it, not needed as it goes just wide. And now it looks like Emporia FC is cooking with some peanut oil here as they're catching fire. And they're starting to become a little more brazen.
Yeah, and if they could just keep that up for 15 minutes, they're gonna keep this energy going, keep creating chances.
As I think we're waiting for a new ball to come in here. Or nope, sorry, corner kick coming. I guess they're going to say that Cole got a hand on it. Good service into the box, going up for the header. But all for naught. Ball goes out of bounds. Throw in here for CKU. As you can see, they're starting to wipe that ball off as the precipitation starting to affect it a little bit. Flores with the header being guarded there by Jack Montgomery of Emporia FC. Now spreading it out here is CKU. Flores, I think, was the intended target on that pass, but he wasn't even seeing it. It was too far behind him. Now we get into a bit of a foot race here. Flores gets it back for CKU. It was a good challenge there on Hector Hernandez. Or my correction, sorry, that was Darwin Valles. My apologies. The 8 looked like a 9, and I'm dyslexic, so leave me alone. Freitas gets his body in front of a shot attempt, and then, oh boy, Montgomery
Yeah.
just absolutely bodies.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not pretty. Believe that is Andrew Quiros who's down. And hey, give credit where it's due for Quiros. He's been taking a bit of a beating tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, he has put his body on the line for his team, so give respect where it's due.
I mean, this is huge for them right now. What a opportunity to
Oh,
make
man.
up for what happened in the first half.
Second PK awarded here for CKU after the clear foul by Emporia. Nascimento again going to look to make himself big. Taking the shot here will be Camille Coombe. Again, Coombe did have one of the 2 goals in the draw for CKU last week. See if he can draw his team even with the second PK opportunity they've had in this matchup.
I'm sure that is playing on his mind right now,
Absolutely.
especially with
Nascimento.
the time that this is taking because you can't really see the 18.
Hmm.
Just more stalling, you're more thinking, more stress.
Stress from 12 yards out. Coombe getting set. Official offering his instructions here to the players. And Nascimento trying to make himself big. Nascimento's done a great job in goal tonight. Can he stop this one? This is 1-on-1. Here comes Coombe. Fires it
Oof.
and puts it just past Nascimento. And Nascimento did a great job of tracking it, but he just didn't get his body to the ground quick enough.
And goalkeepers, you're always at a disadvantage in that situation. You really aren't expected to make a save, though it would have been awesome. And he did guess right.
Yep. The guess is always the hardest part. And just like that, it's 1-1. CKU draws even, and now Emporia FC is going to have to try and break through again. They had the lead. Now they're back in a tie situation as we approach 10 minutes to play in regulation here. Minute number 80 coming up. Fridas receives the kickoff from midfield. He sends it back to Valles. Valles will shoot it to the right side of the pitch. Now at midfield, FC trying to maintain.
Yep.
Whoa! Gerardo Garcia. That wasn't a challenge. That was a full-blown hockey check right there. And I know a thing or two about those. He put the hip and the shoulder into it. Yikes. Telling you, though, as a former hockey player, I would have loved to have Garcia as one of my
Yeah,
defenders. I'm
absolutely.
just saying, that's the kind of thing you want out of one of your defenders. You can send someone flying that easily.
Yeah, they're just trying to disrupt what Emporia FC are
Yeah.
doing with that physicality. And hey, it's working.
Montgomery will send it back to Nascimento. Nascimento puts it up towards midfield. Nice header there by Sandoval. As it rolls out of bounds, last touch by Emporia FC. A throw in here for CKU in front of the Emporia FC bench, and we're getting ready for some more substitutions here for Emporia. Coming off the pitch for the first time will be Richard Freitas.
And he was really solid today. He broke up a lot of
Yes,
play.
he
He
did.
did a lot.
Yes, he did. Coming out there is Otavio Cruz, the center back. Also out there for the first time tonight is Jaime Alvarado, the midfielder from Kansas.
It's nice to see that rotation even at this stage of the game, and
Yeah.
it just shows the trust that Vic has in his players to finish it out.
Well, Ryan Snell had the goal for Emporia FC, and he came off the bench. We talked about getting those fresh legs out there that can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Ball out of bounds yet again. Another throw in here for CKU. Throwing it in there was Joshua Don Juan. They call him Papa, as Coach Martin had told me.
Wow.
Opportunity and a big save.
That was a tough save given how slick it is right now. He did a really good job kind of getting back onto it and having a hold on it.
I got to tell you, every time I see Lawan, I just go give him a big pat on the back because that kid is fantastic in goal. I mean, really. Oh, man, we got another Emporia FC player down. That time it was Henry Munoz. Munoz grabbing at that right ankle. Has to get back on the attack. Montgomery sends it in, comes back to him. Alvarado now was trying to get with it. And now we get another shove, this time from Alejandro Cabello. And Cabello has a yellow card. That's risky for him trying to be that physical and that blatant. I'm surprised we didn't see some red flash out there. That was a pretty obvious foul.
Yeah, it's an unnecessary one as well. We just got to be careful in those situations.
Alvarado has it for Emporia now. It's taken away by Don Juan. And we're going to get a whistle against Emporia in the form of Joao Almeida. Got a little too physical trying to get to the ball. Almeida, again, also has to be careful as the Brazilian has one of the 2 yellow cards for Emporia FC. And it's strange to see, Coach, the players that have the yellow cards are kind of still being the most aggressive out there.
I would guess it's partly in their nature.
Well, that's fair. Long ball sent down the way towards the Emporia goal. It's cut off there by Alvarado, and it's taken back at midfield by CKU. We get a trip up there against an Emporia FC player. The official is going to award the free kick. Going down again was Mario Sandoval. And, I mentioned earlier that Andrew Quiros for CKU has taken quite the pounding. Sandoval has taken some punishment as well. Nearing the 5-minute warning mark here. 84-plus minutes gone so far in regulation. We are still even at 1 apiece as FC trying to generate an opportunity. And nothing going there. More contact, physicality, stopping them. The good news is we got a throw-in coming here. And we've seen Emporia put a lot of these throws on goal. Flinging it right towards the scrum. CKU able to clear it out. Now they've got some momentum moving forward here. Trying to beat the defenders back. Good job to get back by Otavio Cruz. But CKU regains and maintains possession. Another good stop there by Emporia. Flores trying to get into a little bit of a shoving match there with Almeida of Emporia, and he's not going to win that battle. Almeida's got about 5 inches on him. Coombs going to send it the opposite side of the field. Couldn't handle it, could CKU. Emporia getting it back and then losing it right back. A lot of trades of possession here. Neither team doing a great job of maintaining possession time, but Alex Almeida now has a break on the ball. Tried to work it up. It's taken back by Emporia now, and then we get a collision between teammates. Ooh, that's not going to make Coach Victor Ibarra very happy. I think that was Martinez and Sandoval. Just a little miscommunication, I think. Martinez was coming in hot and heavy, and he was expecting Sandoval to move, and he didn't.
I think everyone's just probably really eager right now to try to get the ball and go forward and attack.
86.5 minutes gone here in this match. Mario Sandoval with it now just past midfield. A little soft touch pass up the center. I think he's just feeling out the response time here. He gets it to Montgomery now. Left boundary. Montgomery looking for a great cross, but it's cut off. Corner kick is coming here for Emporia.
Hey, we've had a lot of corner kicks in this game. And I think if that's one area that they can think about is to capitalize on a couple of those, that changes everything.
Absolutely. Taking the corner for Emporia will be Alex Almeida. Almeida.
Oh, throw of hands.
And we got a little bit of a Donnybrook breaking out down there. And I have a feeling we're going to have some ejections here. I mean, you felt it building up.
Yeah, absolutely. And the stakes are incredibly high right now.
Yeah. I'll see what the official says here. He's going to have a conversation with them. I think kind of just reading them the riot act a little bit there. He knows tempers can flare. And again, it has been building all night. Down there, he's for Emporia. That's Henry Munoz being spoken to.
They both got a card. 4 and 13.
Well, yeah, Juan Maldonado for CKU. And Henry Munoz for Emporia. So 3 yellow cards apiece for each team. And I think they're lucky to escape with that.
Yeah.
Back to the play here. Alex Almeida getting set for Emporia to take the corner. They're talking to each other there, a little bit of show of respect. That's good.
Yeah.
Shake it
There's
off.
been a lot of that too, which in
Yeah.
the end, it's just the emotion of the game.
Hey, it's not called competition for nothing.
Yes.
Almeida, nice service in the box and a great header! Emporia FC! Great setup, great execution, and the Black Lions are back in front. Just a little over 60 seconds remaining in regulation. And the Lions' den goes nuts. Oh, they've been waiting for that all night, Coach.
I'm sure Vic is thinking right now, finally. Finally.
You mentioned it only takes one.
Yep. And I think you finally saw Cole get undone. He went out hard and aggressive, and Emporia baited him and played right into that. And boom, easy header, great goal.
Be looking for the number on the header. Couldn't see it in the scrum there, but whoever it is probably going to get a few handshakes, maybe a chicken dinner, because he just may have snatched victory from the jaws of a tie.
Now they just got to be really smart, sit in, defend, protect the goal, and see this out.
We've hit the 90-minute mark, waiting to hear how many extra minutes of play we will have. We had just 1 minute in the first half. See what they decide to add here for the second. As a throw-in coming for CKU, expect them to be very aggressive here. Right towards the net. Header is off the mark. Clearing it out there is Emporia. That's Snell. Tracking it down is Henry Munoz. It's sent back towards Nascimento. Oh, man. The header attempt by CKU went straight into the face of Otavio Cruz. And Cruz is down, and we got another yellow card. That's the fourth yellow card handed out to CKU, 7th overall in the match.
And those have been recent too. That's 2 in the last couple of minutes
wow.
here.
I can honestly say I've never seen this many yellow cards in a game.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games.
I was informed we'll have 4 minutes of added time. 91 minutes gone now, so make it just a little less than 3 minutes now. As Luan Nascimento will have the goal kick.
I got to give credit. Really, Emporia scored 2 really fantastic goals.
Yeah.
And Nascimento's done a really solid job. He hasn't really been tested too much. The penalty kick, that's not really anything he can do there, so he's really been solid.
Yeah, penalty kicks, really the biggest challenge is, I've heard people say before, it's really the shooter against the shooter.
It is.
Because they're the ones that typically determine whether or not it's going in.
100%.
Normally, it's not a stop. It's a miss or it's a hit.
Yep.
Ball rolls out of bounds again, and CKU, deep in their own zone, look for them to try and really clear this thing out, try and get it across midfield, and at least get another shot on there. Flores sends it towards midfield. It's met by Coombe. Otavio Cruz fends it off for a moment, and Emporia FC will clear it out of bounds. 92 minutes, 14 seconds gone in this matchup. Just a little more than a little less, I should say, than 2 minutes remaining with the added time. Emporia leading things 2-1 off a beautiful set piece. The corner kick, the header, everything. Couldn't ask for more. Here comes CKU with the throw-in opportunity. Lobbed right towards the goal again. This one, again, cleared out. Coming in with authority there was Mario Sandoval trying to clear it out, and they're going to say he committed a foul. Sandoval trying to plead his case, but official not hearing it. I guess he says he got a little too close for comfort.
I think, or maybe it hit his shoulder when he was going forward. Again, these are just unlucky things, so bad bounce and things like that.
Honestly, at this point, the match we've seen so far, nothing would surprise me.
No.
He could have told me that an alien flew down and interfered, and I'd believe it. It's been one of those kinds of matches. It's been pretty crazy.
Yes.
We've seen 7 yellow cards, 2 PKs.
Yep.
I mean, it's
It's been entertaining.
been a very entertaining matchup. Completely scoreless through the first half, and we've had 3 goals scored between the two teams, 2 for Emporia, 1 for CKU here in the second. And it looks like Seth Flores will be the one taking the free kick for CKU, or are they going to actually, is it going to be Quiros? Nope, sorry, Quiros down in the scrum. Ryan Snell, who had the first goal for Emporia FC, coming out just off the left side of the wall of Black Lions. We have crossed the 94-minute threshold, so you got to think this could be the final play of the match.
Yeah, they're definitely taking care on this one to make sure they get it right.
It looks like it's going to be Coombe. No, it's a fake. Another fake. Shot on goal. Great save by Nascimento! Go, Nascimento! Luan coming up big again. And here comes Flores really trying to push the action as Nascimento sends it down the other way, and it looks like that's going to do it. Emporia FC takes the win over CKU 2-1. Oh my goodness, what a game. Oh, we got to catch our breath, folks. We're going to take just a few moments. We're going to step aside, notes together, get a few players up here to give us their thoughts on the matchup. I mean, honestly, obviously, we got to talk to some goal scorers. We'll be talking to Ryan Snell, hopefully. Would love to hear from Luan Nascimento. And, of course, we will hear from head coach Victor Ibarra. All of that is coming up here on the Emporia FC postgame show. Make sure you stick around. Your Black Lions are victorious over CKU 2-1 here in the Lions Den. Stick around. Postgame coverage is coming at you here on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. Back high atop the Lions Den here at Emporia State University, your Black Lions are victorious 2-1 over Central Kansas United. And boy, oh boy, what a match that was, Coach. We were just
Very
talking about
entertaining.
it. A lot of things, I made the comment. I wouldn't have been surprised if an alien flew down and got involved because it was a crazy matchup from start to finish. 7 yellow cards,
Yep.
2 penalty kicks. I mean, 2 astonishing out of nowhere goals by Emporia FC. Let's just go ahead and start at the top there. The yellow cards. I mean,
Yeah.
man, what a physical game.
It wasn't pretty, but I think that makes it really rewarding when you walk off the field after that. That was a battle to really
Yeah.
walk out of. So yeah.
Well, and we kind of saw a turning of the tables too, because Emporia came out very aggressive in the first half of play, kind of backed off towards the end of that first half. I think got a little bit more settled, a little
Hmm.
more relaxed, and then you go into the second half and you see CKU really come out firing on all cylinders, very aggressive. I will be honest, I'm very happy, but I was surprised that Emporia
Yeah.
found the first goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a good thing though in a way because it gave them that bit of confidence to continue where they were a little bit more, I don't know, kind of on the back end of it, and then
Yeah.
then they got the momentum to keep going forward.
Well, Ryan Snell, the center attacking midfielder, had the first goal for Emporia FC. We'll talk to him here in just a moment. But really, I felt like that shifted the momentum huge
Yeah,
because it felt like then CKU was really getting on their heels and starting to make some small mistakes here and there. We were talking about how good Andrew Cole was in goal for them. Do you think that that first goal against him was a proving point for the rest of the Black Lions because it seemed like he was a stone wall
for sure.
that you just couldn't break. It's almost when you knock down Goliath, the rest of the army starts running a little bit.
Yeah, I think they were knocking at the door for that for a while, and to finally see it come to fruition is just very rewarding. It's a bit of proof and confidence. Okay, now we can really get going.
Absolutely. Well, then of course, it didn't take long. CKU ties it up on the second PK of the matchup, and right there, Luan Nascimento, we were talking about him. He followed it
He
perfectly,
did.
but you know better than anybody when it comes down to a PK in soccer, football. Sorry, George. But when it comes down to the PKs, really the only person that's probably going to cost you the goal is going to be yourself
Yes.
because that's kind of the big thing right there. So
100%. He's at a disadvantage from the get go, and there was a lot of factors in that too. Like
yeah.
there was a lot of build up, a lot of time, and he had the right idea. It's just going to be so hard to get to it because he put a bit of a pace on it as well.
Yeah.
He did all he could do.
Absolutely. Do want to apologize. We have a few things moving around in here, getting set for our player interviews here in a moment. Give a lot of love to Javen and Adrian here, doing all the work behind the scenes to make us look good. So appreciate them. But another big talking point here too, though, was the conditions out there.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we'll talk to the players about that a little bit, but it started as, occasional sprinkles. It's now turned into a full-blown mist. I was out there for just a few moments. You can see it in my glasses right now, already kind of fogged up and a little bit covered in raindrops there. I mean, that also, you got to think, when you're playing on a surface like this, on turf, when you're used to kind of playing on the grass fields, the dirt fields, things like that, that favors the home team
For
somewhat
sure.
because you're more used to it. You get more comfortable with it. Do you think that comfortability maybe played a factor?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it also just lended into the kind of game that it was
Mm.
too. Is it scrappy, fast paced? I mean, these are the kind of games you kind of dream about as a soccer player and a coach, and you walk away and you're drenched in not only sweat but rain, and you're like, that was a good bit of fun.
Well, looking at the record here now for Emporia FC, they are 1-1. A great way to bounce back after the loss to Dodge City last week. You mentioned that sometimes that can be a lot of fuel, and you also talked about the fact that that game itself was very close. It was a 4-3 final score. Emporia FC coming back in the second half to really knock on the door of the Toros, and then they kind of just turned it back on in the second half here too. It seems like you want your team to play a full 90 minutes,
Of course.
but hey, if they can turn it on there in the second half and they can hold them off there in the first, that's not a bad result either.
Yeah, 90 minutes is kind of unrealistic to be at 100% your absolute best ability throughout the duration. You
True.
just hope that you can dig deep when it's important and you can be consistent enough to get the result.
I like that. Well, of course, the season's still very young. Emporia FC, still a lot of soccer to be played. But, I mean, if you're down there talking to them, this is your team, you're talking to your players, what's the message you're trying to tell them after a big win like this?
I would be very proud.
Mm.
because I think despite the conditions, despite maybe it not being our best soccer game, I think it takes a lot of grit and passion and heart to get that result. And I think that speaks volumes to what the potential is.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We'll see you again here as the season continues on. But you've had a long day. Let's go ahead and let you go home, get
I
a nap
have.
or something.
Sorry about
Uh,
not making sense.
you did fantastic. So we're going to step aside here for just a moment. When we come back, we're going to start talking with some of the players from the victorious Emporia FC Black Lions. Make sure you stay tuned. You're watching post-game coverage right here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. The final score, 2-1 in favor of the Black Lions over CKU. More still to come right here on the Emporia FC YouTube channel. Back inside high atop the Lions Den, Tegan Terhune here with you on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. And I do need to mea culpa here for a moment. I messed up. I screwed up, guys. Rylan Snell joining us here now up high atop Welch Stadium. I apologize, Rylan.
That's not
That's like
good.
I said off the air. You don't let the dyslexic guy write his own rosters. But Rylan, congratulations on the big win here. You really shifted the momentum there early in the second half with that big goal. Just talk us through that moment, what you saw, and how you kind of made the play happen.
I saw him, our center back open up, and I knew that since it was raining, it was gonna skid the ball, so I ran behind the center back, and then it was just luck from there, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a big question there is you guys were generating a lot of opportunities there in that first half,
Mhm.
but I mean, give credit where it's due. Andrew Cole, the goalkeeper there for
Mhm.
CKU, I mean, he seemed almost unbeatable at times. Once you got that goal past him, was that kind of a relief for you guys? Was it a confidence? I mean, I got to imagine it was a confidence
Yeah.
booster, but was that more of a confidence boost because he was just really stymieing your opportunities?
Yeah, he's a really good goalkeeper, so it felt really good to get one past him and know that he is beatable, thankfully. So it was it was a good feeling.
You guys feel like you were kind of rolling after that?
Yeah, I felt like we definitely shifted the momentum, and it just felt good.
So in such a physical game, I mean, it got pretty chippy down there at
Mhm.
times. We were talking about it. There was 3 yellow cards on our side, 4 on their side. I mean, have you ever been in a game that physical before?
No, I don't think so. It was entertaining.
It was fun to watch, I'll
Yeah.
be honest. But when you're down there on the pitch actually playing in that kind of environment, is that something you thrive in, or do you prefer maybe a little bit less of a contact game? How are you feeling?
I mean, it's whatever. You just gotta like stay calm in that moment and like just know what to do and
Right.
control yourself.
Absolutely. Well, Riley, congratulations on the goal, adding to your tally from last week as well. So
Mhm.
2 on the regular season so far.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you and big ups here on the win tonight. So we can't wait to see what you do through the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we let you go, I know you are a Salina native. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So anything that you'd like to say to the folks who might be watching back in Salina?
Hi, mom.
Got to
Uh,
give mom the love.
yeah.
Absolutely. Rylan, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
my friend. Congratulations. Can't
Thank
wait to
you.
talk to you more throughout the season. I'm sure we will be.
Hopefully.
Absolutely. That's Rylan Snell of the Emporia FC Black Lions. One of the goals here tonight. Two on the season already, being a big difference maker here for Emporia FC. We're going to go ahead and move on here. We'll get Joao Almeida in here for Emporia FC. Here comes Joao. How we doing, sir? Good to have you here. We'll have you throw that on for us real quick. And well, Joao, you had the second goal on the night off that beautiful set piece between yourself and, of course, Alex Almeida. First and foremost, how did it feel to get that one to go in, especially with the 1-1 tie after you guys were really in control through most of that matchup?
Yeah, it feels so good. Really, it's one of the best sensations score
Yeah,
and see the net shaking.
shaking a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's awesome.
I think it was shaking down there in the stands a little bit too. People
Yeah.
were going crazy down there. But Joel, I do want to talk to you. You know, I mentioned 7 yellow cards handed out here in tonight's game, and you had one of them early on. Can I ask just kind of what was going through your mind when the official came up, kind of flashed that card?
Yeah, at the beginning we had a bad first half, so we were struggling a little bit with the ball, and when I hit the ball after did a foul,
Mhm.
it was my fault and I deserve this yellow. But to be with the yellow the whole game, it's tough because you have to be cautious.
Well, the thing that really surprised me was, you know, and I said it a few times during the broadcast, it didn't seem to affect your style of play at all. I was kind of asking the question, you know, that yellow card, is he going to back off? Is he going to maybe play a little more timid? You stayed very physical throughout the rest of the game. Once you got the card, I mean, was that even in the back of your mind at all?
Yeah, it was like normally I don't have yellow card, so
It's kind of a new
yeah,
experience.
it is. And I was pretty sure if I keep playing physical,
hmm
I will not have another one.
Well, you all had a lot of corner opportunities here tonight. I mean, really, you guys were doing a great job of generating chances. I was talking with Rylan just a minute ago about Andrew Cole, the goalkeeper for CKU. He was very strong in
Yeah.
goal here tonight. Did you guys think that just every time you got a corner opportunity and you fired it on there, you were just maybe feeling him out, just looking for an opening that finally opened on that last opportunity?
Yeah, like all the corners that we have, it is an opportunity to go because it was too difficult to score in
Sure.
this game with the ball to keep the ball because it was raining.
Mhm.
And when you had the corner, it's 100% concentrate. And
Well, do you think
yeah,
that every corner you took against him maybe showed you something more about one of his weaknesses that allowed you to exploit it with that last goal?
yeah, I feel like who was taking the corner, I
Uh-huh.
was always talking with who was taking like Alex. I said to Alex, "Hey, please give me a strong ball," and he
Mhm.
did it, and yeah, I scored.
You know, one other question I wanted to ask you is obviously this is a bit of a smaller field than what you guys would traditionally play on.
Yeah.
Of course, you being a native of Brazil, I know that that is a much larger field. But do you think that's been an advantage for you guys, getting to train on this field and getting the opportunity to maybe have a little bit more of a home field advantage?
Yeah, to know the field is better for us than for them, but even because of the physical game, it's
Sure,
tough for both parts because
sure.
we don't have too much space to play with the ball. Yeah,
It's basically whoever can settle in first.
exactly.
Well, a great outing for you here tonight, Joel. And just before we let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to your friends and family watching back in Brazil?
Yeah, I would like to say hi to all my friends that are watching me in my college and to my mom and my girlfriend. I love you all. It's been so special to have you guys supporting me right here and tough to be far of you. I miss you all. All right?
Fantastic. Well, we know it's hard to be away from family,
Yeah.
but we want to just say we're so glad that you made that sacrifice to be here with us, and thank you so much for repping that badge with so much pride. We can't wait to see what you do through the rest of the
Thank you
season.
so much.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations on the
Thank
win
you.
here tonight and the goal.
Thank you.
That is the big Brazilian Joao Almeida joining us here high atop the lines. And now the man who helped make his goal possible. Let's bring in Alex Almeida, the native of Spain. Well, Alex, first and foremost, congratulations on the win here tonight. Can you talk about the physicality? I know I keep asking everybody that question, but
Yeah,
we were walking up here earlier. You guys all said, "Boy, that was a physical game."
yeah, and it was. It's the pitch is so tight, so it was more 1v1s and that things. So you had to try to
Mhm.
play faster and do everything faster. to get the ball with a better position.
Well, we can see the hair is pretty wet as well. It started to come down pretty good there towards the end. How did that affect the game from your perspective when it got wetter and a little bit slicker?
I really like when it rains, and but sometimes the ball was slippery, but it's okay. I liked it.
You like those kinds of
Yeah.
conditions. I like that. Well, talk us through the corner that set up that last goal. I mean, what did you see and w- did it go exactly how you planned it to? Was it maybe just a little bit of luck with some finesse? I mean, talk us through the whole moment
Yeah,
there.
so in there I watched the minute,
Yeah.
and I said this has to go in, and I was asking the ball, please go in, please go in. I saw Joao going to the middle, and he wanted a ball with power, so I tried to put it the best as possible, and he hit amazingly and on a high
Mm.
head.
We talked about earlier in the broadcast, obviously, a lot of Spanish players here on the pitch. Of course, yourself from Spain, but you also have a lot of individuals from Brazil and things like that. And can I ask, are the styles of play between Brazil and Spain, are they similar, or are you kind of finding yourself maybe playing a different way than you normally have?
I think it's kind of different, but everything it's adapt to each teammate, and we're knowing better each other, and that's gonna get better in the season. So it's fine.
And well, the reason why I ask is it seems like you guys have been playing together for years and years and years and years. I mean, you have such great chemistry down there.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it's gonna get better because we only played twice or three times, so it's gonna get better every match that we play together.
that's fantastic. Well, you set up a great opportunity. You were a great force down there for the Black Lions here tonight, and we cannot wait to see what you do through the rest of the season. Now, just before we let you go, is there anything that you'd like to say to your family who are watching back in Spain? Any messages you'd like to send out?
Yeah, I would like to say thank you to my mom, my father, and my grandfather, and all the people that it's on college, and all my family and my friends back in Spain.
Fantastic. Well, Alex, I am certain this is not the last time that we'll be speaking to each other. You have a very bright future ahead of you, and we're just so glad that we get to be a part of it. And thank you so much for bringing your talents to Emporia.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. We cannot wait to see what you do through the rest of the season. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is Alex Almeida joining us here, the native of Spain, set up the set piece for the game-winning goal here for Emporia FC, putting Joao Almeida in a great position to score. Of course, speaking to Rylan Snell just a little while ago. Again, Rylan, I'll be giving you a million apologies. I apologize for the misspelling on the name. We will not get it wrong again, especially if you keep playing like that. Now, just awaiting head coach Victor Ibarra to get a final word with him, get his thoughts on tonight's matchup. I think as we wait for coach, we'll go ahead and just take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We've got final thoughts from head coach Ibarra coming up here on our post-game coverage on the Emporia FC YouTube channel.
camera. Okay.
Right back here inside of the Lions Den, Tegan Terhune now joined by Victoria's head coach Victor Ibarra. As well, coach, first and foremost, you got quite the entourage with you. When you win, man, everybody wants to be with you right there. Introduce real fast. Who all do we have here?
So we have the little one, Ryo.
Ryo.
We got the biggest one. What's your name?
Keo.
We got one of the twins.
Asia. And
Jacob.
Jacob. Man, you travel big right there. I
Yeah.
mean, that's awesome. But, Coach, speaking of awesome, what an awesome night for your team here tonight. Talk us through from start to finish there on tonight's match. I mean, really, it started a little slow. There was a lot of back and forth there in that first half, but nobody was able to really kick the door open. You guys finally did in the second half, but just talk us through the progression there.
You know, I thought they were going to make the game pretty difficult because they saw exactly how the field was. So they didn't come to play. They just came to do a bunch of set pieces and kind of put it because it really shows weaknesses very, very easily. So I thought for the most part, the game was fluid, but then it just became, like I said, a little chippy. I thought the referee kind of he was a little hard on us from the very get-go. He took out the cards, and I think only one of their guys got carded, maybe two.
No, 4 of their guys got
Four.
carded.
Well, not enough.
7 in total.
Oh well. So, anyways, I thought our boys did a really, really good job. Kind of like dealing with that, like a very direct set piece oriented team. I thought when we moved the ball, we did really well. There was a couple of chances that we could have made it easier on ourselves and not make it so kind of exciting at the end. But for the most part, like I mentioned, I thought our boys did really, really well.
Yeah.
I wish, again, the game would have been a little bit more back and forth and played on the ground instead of being so chippy. But you gotta be able to win with what they give you.
Well, you mentioned the chippiness, and I wanted to bring up the physicality because, I mean, that was apparent from the get-go. You guys came out more aggressive than what we kind of were used to seeing. You really attacked up front very quickly. Why the change in strategy right there? We're used to seeing a lot of passing in the back, kind of opening up that midfield. You guys took it to them right out the gate.
Yeah, well, that was our plan from the get-go, was basically be able to dictate our press together, and they did a really good job up top with Mario and Alex and Luis of getting transitioning from defense to offense. We just, like I mentioned, we weren't able to put one in the back of the net early, and I thought that would have really set the tempo up for us to kind of just do our game, which is what you would call a little tiki-taka, like, possess the ball. You saw it towards the end of the game again where they opened up because they were behind. But it just, like I mentioned, it just became chippy and became more of a physical. And in a small field like this, it can get ugly.
Yeah, it can get out of hand pretty quick. I think you guys did a great job of maintaining their composure. I was very impressed. Of course, we had the little breakdown there towards the end, but that did result in a goal with the corner kick. And I mean, do you feel like that physicality at some point you maybe got in their heads a little bit, and that maybe opened up the opportunity on that set piece on the corner?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned, they tried it all night long, and they were like, I thought they were trying, but there was really no execution. I didn't think there was a lot of thought process. It was just kind of put the ball in the box, and our guys did a good job of winning that first ball, or at least challenging and then winning the second one. And so that set piece, I thought we were close on several of them. And we have some big guys, so like
Yeah.
they're able to hang with them very, very, very easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the very end, having that set piece, it's always dangerous.
Absolutely. Just a few more questions for you, and I'll let you get the contingent out of here. But do want to give credit where it's due, and we were giving credit where it was due. Andrew Cole, the goalkeeper there for CKU, he really made things difficult for you guys a lot of times. I mean, he was kind of a stone wall. When Rylan was able to get that first goal past him, was there kind of a collective sigh of relief on your guys' sideline? I mean, he was doing a great job of shutting things down, but you finally were able to figure him out.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Rylan being able, that was the idea when we put him in the second half, was to be able to get him behind.
Yeah.
And he's a speedster, and he has a really good knack for the back of the net. He's really young as well, so sometimes he doesn't understand the situation, and he doesn't overthink it and kind of goes right for it. And I thought there was miscommunication between the center back and the goalkeeper, and ultimately, he was able to get back there. And like you said, it was just a huge sigh because we're able to get in the back of the net.
And I do have to apologize. I already apologized to him, but I kept calling him Ryan Snell. Again, that's why you don't let the dyslexic guy write the rosters. But Rylan, a great job there. Of course, We also mentioned Joao and also Alex setting up that set piece at the end. I mean, really, your team executed when it was necessary, and that's got to be a big confidence booster for you as a coach. Knowing that your guys, when adversity knocks, they're not afraid to open the door.
Nobody wants to come out. Nobody wants to be subbed out. Everybody wants to stay in there, and that's kind of the competitive attitude we want to promote. So when I made all those subs, the idea was, to continue to try to being proactive. So adding two extra center backs at the outside just to deal with their very direct attack, and then to add speed behind, because Luis is not really a speedster. He's more wants the ball at his feet,
Yeah,
wants to be very dynamic, kind of go back to the middle.
sure.
And Rylan, again, being left-footed, he wants to take it away. He wants to go to space and want to get in behind. So, like you mentioned, yeah, no, it's just the ability to have a deep bench, and we still have. I don't know. I want to say we still have 8 guys coming. So by next week we should be like at 85, 90%. So
Love it.
it's really, really nice to see that there's going to be that level of competition just between our own team.
One of the last questions I have for you is you mentioned to me before the match started the last two times that you've met these guys. First time it was a 1-0 loss, then you had a tie with them. How good does it feel to be able to get the win over them? Granted, the name was different.
Right.
Originally it was Foot 4, but now CKU getting that, I guess, kind of that scratching that itch a little bit, finally being able to get one on top of them. That has to be a very, very big confidence booster for you and your team.
Oh, 100%. Last year, in terms of results, they weren't there. I think substance was there. I thought there was a really good organizational execution, but the soccer was definitely missing. And I
Mm,
thought, like, second and third year, obviously, you want your vision to be fulfilled, and obviously, you're trying to recruit the kind of talent that's going to be able to promote what you're trying to play. The funny part is, like, we still haven't had a practice. So it's all been like through Zoom or through WhatsApp, trying to like figure out how we're going to play. So it's still really difficult to try to go ahead and get something cohesive.
mm.
But the idea is that as we kind of come together and the summer kicks on, like we're gonna be able to objectively check off a lot of things. Last week it was Dodge City. Dodge City is one of the best teams in the country. Like
Yeah.
they've been at nationals 2 out of the last 4 years. They were at third. They got third place last year, and we were losing 3-0, and we came back 3-3. And honestly, we should have won that game. We fell asleep once, but we dominated the second half. I thought the game right now was very similar. I thought we
Yeah.
dominated for the most part. They were just dangerous because everything was, a ball into the box, a ball into the box.
Well, there's a lot of stop and start too. I
Yep,
mean, the slick conditions, the physicality. I mean, we kind of said whoever can kind of shake that off and get into it, get the right headspace first was going to be the winner, and you guys
100%.
proved that very true. Up
Pun
next,
intended, right?
yeah, pun intended. There you go. Up next for you is Sporting Wichita FC. Of course, that one coming up next weekend. Talk to us a little bit about what you expect from them.
The opposite of today. I think Sporting is an excellent example of how the game should be played. I think they really enjoy having the possession of the ball. They are able to knock it like 1-2 touch around. They are literally a mirror image of what we have. They've been doing it for a while, and I foresee at Striker at 7:30 next week, Saturday, it's going to be a heck of a game because we play them twice, just like we play CKU twice. So I think it's just going to be very different. It's going to be like a let's see who's able to outpossess the other team and dictate play, and ultimately, who's able to execute once you have the possession, because you can have a bunch of empty possession, but the possession in the last third is what matters. And
Absolutely.
I think, now we're up to 5 goals on the season. And I think if we continue to score and kind of shore up some things in the back, I think we're going to see a premier team.
Coach, last thing for you. Anything you want to say to the Emporia Pride who come out here and support you and those watching online?
Uh, I please, we're very grateful for the support. I believe that the production team of everybody, Adrian, Javen, yourself, Yahida, Michaela at the gates, Yahida out making sure everything's delegated correctly, Teresa handling the first aid. I mean, everybody truly making a really professional environment so that way people can dream.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that like we're going to be an MLS team. That's not the idea. The idea is to promote something that is a healthy, recreational, premier structure that people can aspire to be. And ultimately, you have those ball boys out there that are like watching premier soccer players,
Yeah.
D1, pro D1, all the way down. That like is like, whoa, I want to aspire to be like Luan. that like is just an exceptional athlete and
Yeah.
should be playing professionally somewhere.
Well, we certainly hope that'll be the case, but we want to keep him here as long as we possibly
Yeah,
can.
absolutely,
He's been doing a great
absolutely.
job. So, well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the win. Good luck next week. We'll see you back here in Emporia in about 2 weeks' time. Can't wait to see how you guys continue the momentum here.
Appreciate you guys and thank you, Emporia. Keep supporting. Thank everybody. And anything you guys want to say? Go Emporia.
Go Emporia. There it is, right there. Before we wrap up completely, I do want to take a quick moment, just a little personal note here. Tomorrow will be my 6-year wedding anniversary with my beautiful wife, so I just want to say thank you
Congratulations.
so much. I know she lasted 5 years and 364 days longer than anybody thought she would, but uh, you have to laugh that hard. All right. But she actually, you say thank you to myself for coming in here and doing this. She makes that possible. She takes care of our home. She takes care of everything. She takes care of me. So to my beautiful wife, Christy, who I hope is still watching back at home, thank you so much for the support. I mean, she hears my voice all the time. She might have just been like, that's enough. But I love you so much. Thank you so much for always supporting me. And thank you so much for never making me compromise my dreams and being my biggest fan. So I love you so much and happy early anniversary. I'll see you when I get home. Uh,
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And of course, thank you to Coach Victor Ibarra. Thank you to our entire team up here, Javen Arndt, Adrian Sanchez, Yahaira Ibarra, Gabe Diaz Serrano. Thank you to all who tune in here to watch Emporia FC. Again, the final score 2-1 in favor of the Black Lions. They improved to 1-1 on the season. CKU 0-1-1 on the year. Of course, the next matchup will be in Wichita on May 3rd against Sporting Wichita FC. Emporia looking to continue the hot streak that they've started here in the Lions Den. Until next time, we'll see you around. Thank you so much for tuning in here to coverage of Emporia FC on the official Emporia FC YouTube channel. For my partner, Jane Grimley Gunn, I'm Tegan Terhune. We'll talk to you next time here from the Lions Den. Let's go home. Great job.